It's Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023, and we are back after a much-needed hiatus in between seasons here for our Season 4 premiere, back in our St. Louis studio. Excited to talk to you guys and to each other about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the next title out of the MCU. So much news, so much has happened since the last time we saw you all. Lots of DC things to cover, Star Wars titles coming up in the news and rumors, fan mail to shout out as always, some contests, and so much more. Scotty Scoop's here, the Giggler. Danny Patron is zooming in from Texas. I'm Logan, and this is Mostly Superheroes. Hello and welcome to Mostly Superheroes. Slowing it down just a little bit with this cool-ass intro. Got the vibes going, and it's a lot shorter than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it stopped already.
We can do another one, too.
Here we go.
The more, the merrier.
How's this?
Let's get this party rolling.
Guys, back again. Hello. It has been a minute. Season 4 here again on a Wednesday night. In a muggy St. Louis. Got storms all around us. Chaotic, but you guys made it here. We got folks in the studio. We got Danny Patron here zooming in. Danny, let's start with you, buddy. How you been? Welcome back. I didn't mean to give you an intro song. I meant to...
Howdy. Oh my God, that's a thing. It could be like wrestling walk-up.
Was that his
song?
walk-up music?
It is from now on. Make sure you
I like
note
that.
How you doing, Danny?
I am great. Just coming from the new setup here in Dallas, and excited through technology that I'm able to stay a part of the group and talk about this stuff with you guys. Always.
You're not discouraged? You're not discouraged from the 45 minutes that it took to get the technology working?
For the first time for us doing this, 45 minutes, like that's pretty good. Like,
absolutely.
I feel like this could have been a lot worse. So I think we're pretty quick overall.
I think so too. We got you in the stream. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Not Trovo this time.
No, Trovo. Sorry, guys.
Streamlabs.
I mean, you're not going to hear the apology, but...
yeah, you guys won't know.
Yeah.
Trovo doesn't know. Streamlabs is like, no, we're not talking to that right now. Happy birthday to the Giggler.
Aw,
Oh, man.
thanks.
Hey, speaking of
Wow.
which... Oh, gifts.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
shoot.
So, I mean, in our Season 3 finale, it was the holiday special. I mean, it's the same wrapping paper, Scott.
I absolutely-
Or is it
I was
different?
hoping nobody would
This
notice
wrapping
that.
paper is so nice. I
It's
almost
just-
want to just take
It's
this
good
off
wrapping
slowly.
paper. I got a lot of it.
Okay.
Take this off slowly and just save it for later, but nah, I'll
No.
just dig right in.
All right, dig right in. As you're doing it, how you been? How's
I'm
Steph?
good.
How's life?
Life is good, man. 35 years old now.
Yep.
Scott knows how to get me gifts.
And what do you get?
Steelers is right there in the niche right there.
What are we looking at?
Oh, man. Is this a 3D Steely McBeam mascot puzzle?
All right.
Steely
Here we go.
McBeam.
Hold it up for the camera.
This is the Steelers official mascot. I have him on plenty of my team gear. And Scott, thank you.
So
Yes,
it's like
sir.
is it like a statue?
Yeah, it's just a little like 3D
This looks
puzzle
like something
kind of.
that-
And you got to put it
statue.
together.
Yeah.
This will go on my
some
desk
assembly required.
at work, and then I'll have a call that frustrates me, and then I'll just beat it the hell across the office, and then I'll just redo it all over again.
Yeah, yep. I know you've had a pretty good couple of weeks with the birthday, had a nice party, and then we just had another big party, Mardi Gras in St. Louis
Oh
this
my
past
God.
weekend.
Mardi Gras has got to be a national holiday in the STL now.
Yeah, well, I think
So much
it
fun.
is. I think it has
is.
been.
It is.
All
So
right.
much fun.
Big congratulations to you on the birthday. Missed you, buddy. Good to have you back in here. Bigger news, though. Scotty Scoop got married.
Hey!
Scoop, scoop.
I'm
Scott-
taking.
Go ahead.
I'm taking, ladies.
You're taken.
Yeah.
It's over. You're married. The wedding happened. I was there. Talk to us. You're a husband. How's it going?
It's going great.
Yep.
I had a nice, great wedding. We went to Dominican Republic, Punta Cana
Woo.
for the honeymoon, 7 days.
Woo.
Excellence, all inclusive. Great time.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Congrats to you. Congrats
Thank
to
you.
Shanna. I was at this wedding. I danced so hard.
Oh yeah.
The whole-
Like there was no tomorrow.
So sweaty.
Yeah.
Just so
Oh,
sweaty.
We could all tell.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone knew. Everyone, many people were like, "Are you okay?" And I was, because the love was in the air. Love you guys, and I'm glad you had a great honeymoon and that you guys
Yeah.
made it out, had a good time,
Yeah.
made it back safe.
Yep.
Last time you were in
Everything was
here, you were coming off of a tooth surgery.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You all right?
I'm good.
The mouth's fine.
Well, got something on the other side now.
No way.
Yep, going back to the dentist next Friday.
Oh, that's what
Oh,
happens.
no.
You go, and then it's like a stumbling. Like, oh, well, now that we're
I
in
did
here-
it. I came back in January so they could check everything. They gave me a deep clean.
Yep.
You know, one where they had to numb you up
Yep.
because they're going so deep. And they only did one side. And then you come back the next week and they do the other side. And of course they get in there, they knock something loose, and now something else hurts. And going back.
round and round. Yeah, and you're going back for more.
Yeah.
That's what happens. It's like, well, I guess I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you, buddy.
Thanks.
Glad you're here. Good to see you. And Danny, we already said hey to you, but man, thanks for joining us remotely. How you been? Is 2023 off to a good start? What's life
You
like?
know, I also went to the dentist the other day, Scott, and because I've moved around so many times, I've had like different doctors and dentists, and I don't tell them anything. I'm like, I'm just going to let you assess and see what you come up with for all of them, because they all have different opinions. And the guy starts telling me, oh, you grind your teeth, and I'm thinking to myself, no dentist of the 4 I've gone to has ever brought this up. Let me see what you're trying to sell me. And he tries selling me mouth guards. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I got some old Invisalign. I'll just put in. I'm like, everybody's trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
what I learned. Even when you go to the doctor.
And if you run out of
And-
Invisalign, you
Yeah.
can just go to the store and get those ones you wore when you were a kid for football.
Oh, yeah,
and
football.
You,
Yeah, just put the
you-
mouth guard in.
after
Yeah.
you boil
The
it.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, to get the
Wow.
form fit.
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
football as a
True
kid.
athlete here.
That's right, Andy. I as a kid didn't it didn't take, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, glad
No,
you're here, buddy.
Texas is great. Got a new girlfriend. That was a fun how to define the
Whoa.
relationship
Whoa.
conversation at 34. So
Nice.
Man.
All right. Well,
Lucky lady.
yeah,
did you get her because of this podcast? I
Yeah.
assume.
yeah, that's exact. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, it's
groupie.
exactly. I will say the podcast and being able to say that you do that, like because I was going on a bunch of those online dates, like it like kind of piques their interest. It's like, oh, this person has like an outlet. Oh, something different. So,
Yeah, they're like, thank God it's just
Yeah.
movies and TV shows. 'Cause that
Right.
could be.
yeah. I'm like, go
anything.
watch it. And if you want to go on a second date, then like this could work.
That's right.
If you're
There you
like,
go.
wow,
Homework.
we're not going to like the same stuff.
That's a
So,
good point. That's a good point. That's
well,
a good
love
barrier.
is in the air. Did you guys do a Valentine's Day thing, or is that like too soon?
We did. We
Ooh.
did. You know, it had only been a couple weeks, so we just went to like dinner at a like Portuguese restaurant here that was quite good.
Very nice, man. Well, I'm glad to hear
Attaboy.
that things are going well for you. I'm not surprised at all. Living the life out there in Texas.
Yeah.
We're here in Missouri, and if you guys are okay with it,
You're always welcome.
we'll come out, man. Maybe we'll do like a recording out there sometime. I mean, Joe Rogan's in Austin, so maybe we'll figure it. We're all podcasters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So we'll figure it
I'm
out.
gonna talk
we're on a
UFOs
group chat.
with him.
That's right. Well, we got a lot to nerd out about today. I mean, it's season 4. You get Elephant in the Room. We were supposed to see you guys in January for Blade 2. If you watch Blade 2, there's a payoff for you today. We can't wait to do it for you and what you watching. What you watching's packed, and news and rumors is packed, and the meat. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Come on, a movie we heard about in 2019, a title that we were all blown away with when Kevin Feige said it. Today's the day to talk about it, but first, as always, we're going to open it up with you guys, the fans.
Fan mail.
We will continue to always feature fans first on this show. We want you to join us in our free, exclusive, private Facebook group, the Mostly Superheroes Squad. You can also call us at 754-CALL-LOG. Put that in your phone as Mostly Superheroes. Text it, call it. From TikTok, user Big Rich Nose Jax made a comment on one of our posts from our season 3 finale where Michael Rosenbaum had a cameo on our podcast, which was fantastic. He told me, get therapy, which I thought was it's great advice. I mean, really, we're talking about the mental health game on this podcast a lot. And, that was what cameo was for me. Michael Rosenbaum said, hey, Logan, get therapy. And Big Rich Nose Jax on TikTok saw this, got a kick out of it, and also said, this guy has another podcast, right? So he says, the Talkville podcast. Are you guys aware of this?
No, I was not aware.
He does it with Tom Welling, and they talk about Smallville.
I don't know how you don't know about this.
I know. That's exactly right. That's kind of how I'm feeling.
I've started listening to his other podcast.
Inside of You.
Yes.
Yes, very good.
Stephen Amell have some good episodes.
Very
on
good.
there.
Yes. Well, he's got another one for you Smallville fans out there. It's called Talkville. Big Rich Nose Jacks on TikTok. Thank you for the shout out there and giving us the tip. Next up, we have one from Facebook, Ian S. from the Nerd Nation Facebook group. We do a lot of activity in this group. They're great, a lot of fun folks. One of the folks there, Ian L., made a comment on our post about Willow, which Scotty Scoop brought into What You Watchin'. It's a series on Disney Plus, made 30 plus years after the movie.
Yeah.
Ian had to say it's pretty good, but the songs at the end of the episodes, like Metallica, were kind of off-putting. I really enjoyed the original music from the movie. Scotty Scoop, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, it was a little strange, especially if you're used to watching, period shows, like Game of Thrones, stuff like that, where they kind of just hit you with the orchestral, soundtrack. And it was a little strange to have like modernized music behind the fantasy setting of a show. Once you kind of wrap it up to, tie it all up.
But part of you is still like just rocking.
Oh yeah, part of me was like, yeah, Metallica, let's go.
Like, they should have always done this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ian L., thanks for the shout out. Appreciate that. Hope you appreciate this shout out. Love bringing people in from online. Follow us everywhere: TikTok, Facebook, all the above. And last year we did a lot of vinyl giveaways. We're not done yet. You may have seen this on our social media. We are giving away an album from the Black Keys. It's called Brothers. It was a gift that I received over Christmas from my to-be mother-in-law. And I loved it so much that we wanted to give one away to you. So you can go enter this at mostlysuperheroes.com/contest. If you're watching this on your TV or your device, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. Totally free to enter, and we will mail you this vinyl. If you're trying to get into vinyls, if you already are, if you're trying to get into the Black Keys or you already are, this contest is for you. Check it out.
They're coming to us this summer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they usually hit up St. Louis. I feel like they
Forest Park?
I saw them downtown once at the Dome. You said they're going to be at Forest Park?
Yeah, with Ice Cube.
It's like a festival.
Yeah.
Okay, festival.
The two-day
yeah.
festival.
Back in St. Louis.
Yep.
They're so good.
Yeah, they are really good.
I'm excited.
Just some of the coolest music that's out there, I
Let's
think.
go.
All right, go check that out. Go buy some merch. Lots more happen at the website. For now, though, let's just get into some news.
News and rumors.
Playing catch up. We haven't been in a while.
It's been 2 months. A lot's happened.
A lot's happened. We got to talk about this accident with Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye in the MCU. Snowplow accident.
Yeah.
This guy almost died.
He owns his own snowplow.
Yep.
Somewhere in Nevada?
Somewhere out
Utah?
west.
It's somewhere. It gets a lot of lake effect snow. Was plowing his road, got out, and it ran over him.
He was helping somebody too, right?
Yeah.
And just
He's plowing the road that he lives on with all of his neighbors.
and it just messed him up.
It ran over his legs, I guess. And thank God his neighbor is a doctor, saw him and came and threw a tourniquet on.
Thank God for that guy.
Saved his life. 100% saved his life. He would have bled out in minutes if it wasn't for this guy.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The guy, Jeremy Renner, has posted many posts since then. I think very much in recovery, will be in recovery. I think I saw him promoting a show that, obviously he filmed a while back and, keeping it going, at least from a social media standpoint. But you got to know, this guy is going through it. So keep positive vibes, thoughts going toward Jeremy Renner because he got hit by his own snowplow.
Yeah.
Story for forever. Next up, we have Power Rangers fans. Get ready. April 19th on Netflix, the original, some of them, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are coming to a special on April 19th called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. They for sure got Billy, the Blue Ranger. They for sure got Zach, the Black Ranger. I think maybe they got Rocky, the Red Ranger.
Not the pink.
No Pink Ranger.
No, they got a different Pink Ranger from later generations, but they're going to be on screen. Some of the original suits are coming back. And personally, this is really tugging at my childhood. Very excited to see these folks come back. Anybody else know about this, care about this?
I hope they have a nice Green Ranger tribute there.
You think they're going to work
I don't know
something
if
in?
it's-
I bet.
I don't know if this was filmed before or after that or what, but
Had
What?
to be before.
Well, it's not even coming out till April, so you probably work in a something.
yeah. I hope
Was he
so,
in
but
it? I
I'm-
don't know.
I'm pumped for this. This will be good. tug at the heartstrings of back in the day.
Yeah, I
Always
feel
down
like,
for that.
I mean, look at the logo. This is the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo. Danny, was this something you watched? Is this calling out to you right
I was
now?
going to say, I haven't watched Power Rangers in 20-something years, but I'll watch this on Netflix.
Yeah,
Like,
of
this
course.
is just for the nostalgia,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to catch any new Power Rangers fans. Like the kid. I mean, Power Rangers has been going since then.
Oh yeah, a
you
long
know,
time.
Dude, I fell down a YouTube hole a couple weeks ago just watching like all these like top 10 moments of Power Rangers over the years, and like it's like villains and weird things, and there's some odd storylines that happened in Power Rangers as time went on.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Yeah, and all the different names and everything. But here we go.
Yeah.
The originals are back April 19th. Mark your calendars. All right, we're going to talk way more about this and coming up as we prepare for the rest of the year. But just a very, from comicbookmovie.com, very high level. Every MCU and DC movie you got to look forward to this year. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, talking about that today. DC, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. MCU, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The Flash movie. We're going to talk about that in a second. The Marvels is coming. Blue Beetle, Kraven the Hunter, and Aquaman at the end of the year. So a real nice slate. Oh, and also I don't think that Captain America, New World Order, they get pushed.
Yeah, that's next year.
That's next year, yeah.
I think that kicks off Phase 5.
That's
or
right.
No, Phase 6.
Phase
maybe,
6.
or closes Phase 5.
That's just me jumping the gun,
Yeah.
getting too excited. Okay, speaking of DC, this was the news at the time. Ezra Miller is going to remain the Flash. This was back in January. Since then, we have got a trailer from the Super Bowl for this movie. Holy cow, chills. Oh, like let's just get into it. Can we just talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, Keaton, there he is.
Yeah.
They dropped the I'm Batman. They got the Flash in his new suit, visiting past Flash. We got Zod
General Zod
from Man of
from
Steel.
Man of Steel.
Like, they're messing with the timeline. It's
Yeah.
like, it looks like Superman's dead. Sasha
Superman's
Kylie's coming in as
dead, yes.
Kara Zor-El.
Supergirl. Yeah. This
Other
is,
thoughts?
That's a lot of stuff already.
I watched
just in a trailer. Like they gave that already. Like they had to. I could have waited to hear Keaton say those words a bit.
When they put that I'm Batman in the trailer, I was at Andy's house, and I was like, there they go again. Like, they had to do it. Like,
Yep.
people, it's almost like people just won't remember or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious to see if there's a clear tonal shift in the worlds from like if they're at the Zod and say it's Ben Affleck Batman, and then we go to Keaton's. Does it feel Tim Burton-esque, or is it still kind of that Snyderverse feel that we kind of become used to at this point? So I'll be interested to see how they blend that, if they even try.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because they already showed like a little bit of like Keaton's Batman like jumping down and like swooping and fighting.
Yeah, doing some real
I mean, he looked like
some
20.
real wet work.
He looked like 20
Yeah.
years old,
Yeah.
How is this going to reset everything? Is what I really need to know. I want to know that right now. I can't wait 6 months for this.
Well, you're gonna have to, Andy.
I know.
Unless we can get a hold of James.
Yeah. We could probably get a screener.
I mean, I got turned down by his publicist at the end of the year.
James Gunn, you must be talking about.
I am.
Just making sure.
I
We're
said
talking about the
James.
right
First
James.
name basis.
First
I
name
know,
basis,
yeah.
Andy. Yeah, I can
St.
tell
Louis.
you. Hey, a fan, a friend.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that if he's listening, that he's hearing it. You know?
James, help us out. We can't wait to see this movie. Probably the highly most anticipated thing from DC at the moment.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
All right, next up. You're ready. You're welcome, Danny. I'm wearing the shirt. I've got my modern day Star Wars with a little Grogu on it. I am so ready for March 1st. Mandalorian season 3, multiple trailers out at this point, and we're about to just rewatch seasons 1, 2, and a third of a book of Boba Fett to get ready for this show. Danny, I want to hear from you first. How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. The whole idea of him going to Mandalore and trying to kind of rebuild the Mandalorians is interesting. Now, this is where I have problems because it's like an in-between. So I'm curious if or how these events would somehow connect to the sequel trilogy that we had. Like, I mean, it's just kind of odd. Like, if he's successful and all of a sudden the Mandalorians become like a civilization like they were before, is it just they were kind of sitting on the sidelines when the First Order showed up, or what the deal is? But I think this is probably going to lead us into the Ahsoka show, would be my guess, similar to how season 2 kind of got us to Boba Fett. So I think there's going to be some setup there. Always excited to see Grogu just hanging out. Pedro Pascal just killing it and everything he's doing right now. I know we're going to talk about him later, but pumped for this to come back.
Yeah, man, cannot wait. Carrie's been chirping me about it, like, why aren't we rewatching this? Why aren't we watching this? I'm like, it's going to be 1 week at a time. I'm like, March 1st is the day it comes out. Am I going to watch this weekly?
Yeah.
Part
All
of me
the way
wants,
to April.
Part of me wants to, because like Game of Thrones is fun weekly, and when a show is good, it can work weekly. We talk about this all the time on the show, but part of me is just like, just let it stack and just watch it over a weekend, But Andy, how you feeling? Mandalorian, it's in your house. You guys are gonna be watching this.
I'll be weekly. I don't have the willpower to wait for this. Like,
Yeah.
I just like exactly like you said, Game of Thrones. It's like looking forward to this feels like an event. Like with how good these seasons have been. Like, we're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be great, just like it has been.
Yep. Anything else, Scotty?
I read today season 4 is already written.
Oh wow! So they're just rolling.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
good. All right. How about another one? The Boys season 4 wraps filming. This was like 6 weeks ago, so we're just about like we're getting it up to like I've seen some promos on social media. Any news on like when this is happening? Do we have a date?
I don't think it's going to come out until probably the end of this year, but we are getting the spinoff.
The college.
Yeah, the college years or something.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. I think we're going to get that somewhere. They haven't given a date yet, I don't believe, but I would expect it right around summer.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, like I said, I can see the promotions. The socials are spinning up, and man, what a show! Top tier show right here. The Boys season 4. Get ready, it's coming. It's on the way. Big news in MCU town. Movie came out that we talked about, I guess, last on the show. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Prior to the best of episode, winner of the Golden Globe Award for the first time, right? At least was it her first? That was going to be my question. Angela Bassett from the film wins a Golden Globe.
Yes.
Was it her first?
That's
where I got confused. If it was like the first
for an actor in an MCU movie.
Yes.
I believe.
Okay. Yeah, it's we get this mixed up. Either way, though, headline: Angela Bassett from the movie winning this award. Gonna give it up for sure. I mean, she's was fierce in the movie. The movie
Great
itself.
job.
Just watch it again.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus. Anybody else rewatched it yet?
Yeah,
Last
a
week.
couple of times. Yeah,
Couple times.
Yeah.
Is it holding up?
yeah, it's holding up.
Made me cry as many
Namor.
times as the first 2 times I watched it.
Yeah. Lots of tears.
Sting.
Namor was the strong points.
Kulkukukan.
So go over there and watch that. That's on Disney Plus for you. And last but not least, we had to talk about it. So much has happened in the DC world, and James Gunn finally came out and talked about the DC Bible, essentially phase 1 of their plan for DC. It was a really long, extended video of kind of him explaining where they're coming from, a little bit of background of what's happened, the chaos at DC, and essentially what's on the slate.
Released on my birthday.
Released on your birthday, extra special birthday gift. And wasn't he wearing a shirt too that said like "Happy Birthday"?
It really looked like it said, like you could see
it
words.
Said, no,
on
you know
the
what it
shirt.
said? It said "Happy Birthday" to like anyone. It was something like very.
I think it said "Happy Birthday" to the Giggler. I think.
Yeah, maybe that's
probably.
You just
what it
couldn't
said.
see it all.
All right, help me with these logos here. We know the ones that are coming out this year. Obviously, Shazam, The Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman. What do we got next?
Creature Commandos is going to be an animated film.
Okay.
I do believe.
All right, Waller. This is Viola Davis.
I think this might be something that's HBO
Okay.
centric.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, that sound right, Danny?
Yeah.
Creature Commandos, I think, was a show, maybe.
It's animated show,
It's
or
animated.
movie, something. I know it was animated.
Superman Legacy.
Yeah,
They're writing this thing. It's a younger
a
Superman
younger
story.
Superman story.
Lanterns.
That was something that was
Show.
originally supposed to be on HBO Max, and I think they scrapped it, and now they're just redoing it again
Doing it
for
right.
HBO
Yeah,
Max.
They described it as like a True Detective style superhero show.
Hal Jordan.
But Green Lanterns,
Yeah.
man. Epic storytelling. The Authority?
So
Yeah.
So the Authority is a group of superpowered folks that think very differently than Superman, and they've been villains to him sometimes. They're a get it done in any way possible. Like do good regardless of how you hurt, like kind of a greater good organization.
Very cool. Paradise Lost. Anybody?
This is going to be a Wonder Woman kind of story.
Yeah, it's like where it's from. It's at the, what's it called there? Where she's from?
Themyscira.
Themyscira, yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, every one of these things they compared to another HBO property. So this one they were like, it's like Game of Thrones on Themyscira, and
Yeah.
Green Lanterns was
True
Green
crime.
Lanterns, like True Detective. Like it's all they linked everything to another HBO
It's really
property. It was funny.
that's awesome. And then the Batman.
Yeah.
I can't read this Batman.
The
logo.
Brave and the Bold.
Is that the Robin story?
This is Batman and
It's
his son.
It's his son,
Yeah.
Damian.
Damian
Wayne.
I mean, I am
Yes.
jacked for this.
Yeah.
I'm
never-
reading
it's
reading
his-
these comics right meow.
These,
You are?
these comics are great.
Okay.
Talia al Ghul is Damien's mother. So Ra's al Ghul, Liam
Right.
Neeson, is his father.
Yes.
Or, I'm sorry, is his grandfather.
Yeah.
Booster Gold. I mean, I've seen
Booster Gold.
I've seen the Booster Gold Smallville episode,
Oh,
so I definitely know who this
finally.
guy is. Finally,
This is going to be an HBO property. This is probably one of the biggest things I'm personally excited for.
I can see it.
Love Booster Gold.
You're lighting up.
Yes.
You're lighting up gold over here. Supergirl. We know who Supergirl is.
Supergirl, yeah.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
Good.
I just finished the run that I think they're basing this off of. Should be great.
Because they had that one Swamp Thing show.
On the
Okay.
the DC Universe channel or whatever they had before.
And
Oh
then
my
what?
gosh.
What are
Forgot
these at
about
the
that.
bottom? This is
That's Elseworlds. Joker, Batman.
So
2.
the Joker, the movie and the spinoff
these are like
Folie à Deux.
Oh, this is
These still exist,
and it's
but
like-
they're not centric to this universe that they're building.
Yeah, this is a big credit to Heroes Reforge. I think they put together this graphic, so they did a good job showing you like here's what's happening in DC now. Here's what James Gunn talked about, and then the Elseworlds is like not. Elseworlds is truly like not included, but it doesn't mean that they can't ever cross over and do anything.
Yeah, I would never put it off the table.
Exactly.
But he said these are their own properties for
Yes.
now.
Yeah, Matt Reeves, the Joker stuff, the stuff on the CW, Teen Titans
Go. Yeah,
Okay.
Superman and Lois.
All right,
These are all things that they've
Gods and
got
monsters.
contracts for.
All right. Big thanks to Screen Rant, Heroes Reforged, Adam H. Levac. That's on Twitter. Probably not saying that right, but trying to get it to where you can follow him. It's up here on our screen. It'll be in our show notes. DC is on the way. They're rolling out phases. I mean, at least we're rolling out phases.
Guys, they've got a plan.
They have a plan.
Thank God.
Thank God. Let's just try to stick to it. All right, here we go. Cannot wait. That's our news. Join us in the Facebook group for even more from us and Scotty Scoop, everybody else. With that, let's get into what we're watching.
What you watching?
What you watching? Some sports happened recently. We just talked about Super Bowl commercials, trailers. How was at your house, Andy, for a nice Super Bowl party? And who
man.
wants to talk about, who cares about the Super Bowl the most and wants to tell us about it?
We ate some good food. That's 100% the best part of Super Bowl parties.
Great food.
Sad that this football season is over, 100%. But
Yep.
that's just one football season because the real football season is here now with the Battlehawks.
With the XFL, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, has picked up this league from what's his name from wrestling.
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon.
And the league is back again for round 10, I think. But it's for us, round 2 here in St. Louis.
Defeated the San Antonio Brahmas on Sunday.
They're the Brahmas? I thought they were the Vipers.
No, we took them down, baby.
We did?
We're going to win tomorrow night on Thursday against the Seattle Sea Dragons.
The Seattle Sea Dragons. Okay. All right.
So it's going down. But Super Bowl was cool. I mean, it was a good game. I didn't really care who won this one. Rihanna performed with a baby in her belly on top of the stadium, so that was pretty crazy.
Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
halftime show was awesome. Those
Did you guys
floating
see
things.
Yeah.
Did you see all the edits where they did the Super Smash Brothers
Yeah,
characters
for sure.
in there
Yes.
on the platforms?
Yep. Well
Oh,
spent.
that's
Well
great.
spent.
Too easy.
Hit us
Yeah.
up.
I mean, it was nuts. They're using the cable technology they've used on the cameras for years out there, and they just were well, we can just do stages.
Yeah.
And Rihanna's just up there, very pregnant, 100 feet in the air.
Yep.
Pretty amazing.
That
You can look
was-
it up. This is a plug for Apple Music. They have like the rights to this. It was the Apple Music halftime show.
Huh.
I don't know if you guys noticed that. Like, it's typically I always remember Pepsi, the Pepsi halftime show. This is Apple. If you go to Apple Music, they have access to like a lot of the Super Bowl halftime shows.
Oh,
So-
nice.
so you
I
can go
always
back.
remember the one and only time MTV did it.
They sponsored
with
it.
JT and with JT and
Oh,
Janet
yeah.
Jackson.
I mean,
You remember?
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a
that's
memorable one.
That's right. And isn't it like somebody like
One and only time.
Tom Brady was under flack like recently for saying like that was cool what happened to her or something? Don't quote me. Tom Brady's gonna like find me.
You
It was-
can't tell me that wasn't planned.
I know it looked planned.
Scott, that was a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah,
Right.
You don't know what
When he reached
malfunction
over
means?
and ripped it off.
Yeah, no one ever
Right.
talks about the time that Justin Timberlake attacked Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs won, right?
Yeah, 38-35. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP. He has 2 Super Bowls, two MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's probably going to be the best quarterback ever, but
All right, there's your sports.
whatever.
Scotty Scoop, you got 1 minute. Tell us about this book.
The Cabin at the End of the World. Ethan Tremblay. This was adapted to film by M. Night Shyamalan as Knock at the Cabin. I read the book. I saw the movie a couple weeks ago. You've got this couple with their adopted daughter in the woods. Some people show up. We got Dave Bautista in this movie and says, "Hey, we need
Oh, I thought it was a book.
It is also a book.
All right, but
I
because I see
saw-
Stephen King, but this
yeah.
is a movie.
Yeah, this is the movie.
Okay.
I think that Stephen King is just a blurb about
Yes.
the book.
Okay.
So, couple, adopted daughter in the woods. These people show up and say, "Hey, in order to stop the end of the world, the apocalypse, you 3 have to decide which one of you're going to kill."
Oh, geez.
And I
Andy.
mean, very right away.
Knew it.
And they say, "We're not doing that.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy."
That's
And
what I
you're-
meant.
And you're targeting us,
Right.
and some things start to happen,
Okay.
and they start to question: is this real? Is this planned?
Hmm.
Did they set this up? This is a gay couple, so they think they're being targeted
Yeah. Okay.
because of who they are.
Okay.
They think they recognize one of the people who say they've had visions, and they're coming to hurt them, and they think maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We don't know.
All right.
About halfway through, the book and the movie take different paths.
Oh.
So if
okay.
you see the movie and you're like, I don't know if I like this or this was great, definitely read the book.
Sure.
It's not a very long read. I think something everyone out there would enjoy.
I see. So this is
Which-
Paul Tremblay who wrote
Paul
this.
Tremblay,
Okay.
yes.
Go ahead, Danny.
Which did you like more, the movie or the book?
I liked the book more.
Yeah.
Always.
It usually works that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
If you really like read the book and you really watch the movie,
But
rarely.
it is a very M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Where can people watch this?
The movies.
It's in the
It's in
movies.
theaters
It's in
right now.
theaters.
Yep.
The Cabin at the End of the World. All right, I'm bringing in some from Carrie. We watched White Noise on Netflix. Adam Driver, amazing. Got to rewatch it. Definitely a satirical take on the way that we all take in media and talk to each other about it, and the way that information's passed around, and takes place in the 80s, I believe, maybe late 70s. Highly recommend. Now I think Carrie was high 3s, 3.6. I give it a 3.6, 3.7. Check it out. White Noise on Netflix. Danny Patron, you're up. HBO, here we go.
Secession.
Yes.
So I'm a little late to the game, and I watched all 3 seasons in about, 2, maybe 3 weeks. I just kept going and going. About a kind of media mogul family. The old man's getting close to retirement. They're all fighting to see who's going to be in charge of the company. If you love shows like Veep, any of those kind of like dark comedies that HBO does, like this is one of them. It's got good twists, turns, and you root for everyone and no one at the same time.
Yep.
Because they're all great as like entertainment characters and horrible human beings in one way or another. So highly suggest it, and would say if if you're thinking about doing it, the next season's dropping not too long from now. They just released like a teaser, and definitely jump into it like I did, and then just watch them all. You'll blow through it.
Yeah, I feel like that is the way too. Another one that's just like let it stack, and then just power through. Very good. Succession, HBO, definitely give it a watch. All right, one for me, another HBO. Finally got around to doing this. The Sopranos, first time. I think we talked about this when we first started the pod with PC Mike. He was a huge fan, and I tried it. I think at the beginning, I got into season 1, slowed down. We got to season 2, slowed down. Was like, oh, I'll come back to it. Like it felt okay. Came back in at the end of season 2, went into season 3, and then from then never stopped and never looked back. The last season was one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen. The shooting style, the way they bring in the perspective of the human experience. I mean, this is what's going on in this show. First time, it's old. It's 20 plus years old. Like the technology shows it's a different time, and it's Italian American mob boss. So if you haven't seen The Sopranos, I'd definitely give it a high score. That last season I put way above the first season, but if I was just rounding it out because the whole experience is great, 3.7.
Nice. Wow, that's a good one.
Anybody else seen this? Not seen it?
I have not. I did the
Dan's
same
seen
thing where I've started it a couple times and just never got fully through it.
Yeah.
But the more people say things like you just said, the more I'm like, all right, this is like one of the most classic like shows of all time, like, and most popular shows of all time. Like, just strap on a sack and keep watching, Andy.
And there's a therapy component to it, actually, and like it's like from early on in the show all the way through. And I think they do a good job of just kind of talking about what it feels like to like be alive and like to make decisions and like what happens from that.
Yeah.
All right, next up, the Giggler. There's an Xbox game. Tell us about it.
High on Life. Discovered this bad boy on Xbox Game Pass. I think you can get it on Windows as well. So if you have Game Pass, it's free, and I would recommend this for anyone that enjoys laughing or shooting games in any capacity. Basically, you're a bounty hunter on an alien planet. You just go around accepting various bounties. You get a new gun each time you do so. The guns are basically, they talk to you, interact with you. One of them is voiced by my hero Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave. That was my highlight of the entire game. But it's a quick game. I mean, it took me probably a week or two of like playing an hour or so a day to beat it. But I had so much fun. This is one of the most fun I've had playing any shooting game. Just hilarious. Good, like decent story, honestly. I mean, it has its kinks. It's made from the creators of one of the creators of Rick and Morty, which was way cooler like when I was playing this game than it is now, given whatever's recently happened with him. But yeah, I'd go probably like a 3.7 out of 4 for this. I had a lot of fun.
High on Life game on Xbox.
Scotty played this too, right?
Yeah, it was funny, good. Rick and Morty. If Rick and Morty and first-person shooters is your thing, then check it out.
This is a dream come true.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Scotty Scoop, how about this?
Oh boy, Chainsaw Man, Crunchyroll. Anybody?
No.
I know what it is.
Like so far, you haven't said really anything that means anything to me.
Right. So Chainsaw Man, we got this kid Denji. He's a teenager.
Like Crunchyroll,
Crunchyroll is the service, an anime streaming service.
Yes. All right. Okay. So go ahead.
Chainsaw Man, Denji. He's a teenage guy. His father's passed away and left him saddled with debt, and he is a bounty hunter that has made a deal with a chainsaw devil. So in this world, the fears of humankind create devils. So there's gun devils, knife devils, bat devils, octopus devils, and there is a kind of like a FBI kind of thing that hunts these things, and he is just like a freelancer who gets recruited, and he makes a deal with a chainsaw devil to save his life.
Oh my God!
Which basically gives him the power, as you can see, to turn into a human chainsaw, and he uses these powers to pay his debt and to meet his ultimate goal in life, which is touching a girl's boobs.
Not with those hands.
There's Japan.
Right. This is probably
that's the mission.
That's the mission of season 1.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it always the mission?
Yes. So, man, I watched this with my daughter, Lila.
It's a show.
This is a show.
Oh, my God.
10 episodes, and it is fantastic.
Okay. What do you like about it?
It is so funny and awkward,
Okay.
and the action is great.
All right.
One of the best animes I've seen in the last couple of years, for sure. Winning awards on, Crunchyroll. They're turning this into a stage play. Like a live action stage play.
Oh, my God. It's going to be a disaster.
We got a second season. The manga is coming out. We're getting a novelization. This Chainsaw Man.
It's blowing up.
If you like anime, please watch this show.
All right. Scotty Scoop. Well, what's the rating?
Lila's rating is a 4,
Obviously,
of course.
Yeah.
I would say probably 3.6.
Chainsaw Man, Crunchyroll. You heard it here. Another one from Carrie. Couple throwbacks, comedies, movies. One, Airplane, the original.
Surely
And-
you can't be serious.
That's. So many. They all come to my mind. Most of them are. What's his name?
Leslie Nielsen.
I mean, most of them are him, of course. So good. It's one of those that I can just watch over and over and over.
Yeah.
And the second one was They Came Together, a rom-com that makes fun of the rom-coms. Amy Poehler, Paul Rudd. I mean, you guys know Paul Rudd, right?
I've heard of him.
That's right. Check them out. These are high picks on Carrie's list. All right, and then also a throwback for me. We watched all 3 Back to the Futures just a couple weeks ago. Man, it's all
so good.
It's also good. There's some plot holes, looking back through it. There's some writing that's questionable, but I'm telling you, what saves it is Doc and the soundtrack.
Yeah.
All right, you got Doc Brown, just hilarious every scene. I can't get enough of him. I'm realizing he is the star of the movie.
Oh, for sure.
And that soundtrack, got to go see it. Thanks for the image from Screen Craft there. And next up, Danny P. Couple animated movies from HBO DC.
Yeah, I'd been putting these off for a little bit. So we have The Long Halloween, part 1 and part 2. It's really one long movie. If you are really craving some DC stuff and the live action isn't doing it for you, there are great animated movies that tell, frankly, better stories than most of the actual live action movies we've gotten. This one, the premise is that Batman is hunting a killer. The killer only murders on holidays. So the first murder occurs on Halloween. So it's called The Long Halloween because they keep having all of these murders happen on holidays. And, it's got the full repertoire of all of the villains in it in one way or another. Harvey Dent is still the prosecutor version of him in the beginning. And, it's got some twists and turns on what you might expect. And I like this one because it's more of a mystery than just an action beat 'em up kind of thing. I had read the graphic novel years ago and actually forgot the twist. And so when I was watching it, I kept trying to remember who is the killer? And I kept they give you a lot of different options, and it just is a really good kind of murder mystery set more back in the earlier times, probably the 50s or so. And so a really good watch on there. If you got HBO Max, both of these are on there right now, and highly recommend them. So a 3.6.
Hell yeah, 3.6. Batman, the Long Halloween. I mean, they're just these 2 posters here got me curious, and I've heard this too. There's certain animated stuff out there that just blows away some of the live action stuff we've seen.
Not all of it.
No, not all of it, right? But this was one that always pops up on my HBO, and then you bringing it up, I'm like, all right, this is gonna have to get on my screen. You watched it, Andy, right after Danny told us about it.
I was in love with it immediately. So good.
And Scotty, are you familiar?
I read the stories, but I have not watched the movies, and I will probably remedy that situation very soon.
Perfect. Go check it out on HBO. And a spoiler-free roundtable. We'll stay here for just a couple minutes. I want to hear everybody talk about it once. I'll go first and knock it out of the way since I haven't seen as much as you guys. The Last of Us, the video game, the most recent video game gone cinema TV show. This is The Walking Dead has made it to HBO, and this is their version of just but not exactly the same at all. That's what you're gonna think. Oh, I'm going into this as Walking Dead. No, it's not. I'm only episode 3 right now. I think there's like 6 episodes.
6, yeah.
And that's where I'm at, and I'm so in. The last episode was unbelievable. Tugged at the heartstrings, emotional roller coaster, and enjoying watching Pedro Pascal, and really more enjoying the lead young girl, which I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she's
Bella...
definitely, and she plays Elle in the show.
Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie,
yeah.
Ellie.
Loving it. So I'm in. Can't wait to watch the rest. Giggler,
Yeah, we are
spoiler free, everybody.
yeah, absolutely loving this show. I was hesitant at first because I didn't play the video game. I didn't really know if it would be enjoyable for that, but I just asked a couple people a couple episodes in, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you'd really enjoy it." And I mean, even Steph is like obsessed with this show, and just right? It F's your mind, that's for sure. I mean, these are some emotional episodes already, and you're like, yeah, you're what, you got a couple left to catch up?
2 or 3, I guess.
Yeah.
3 to go. Yep.
Some of the best ones, honestly. So I'm excited. Let us know what you think for sure when you get there.
And then, do we know how many there are going to be?
9.
Okay, so we're only 6 out of 9. All right, Scotty.
If you have not played these games, they are absolutely games of a generation. Like, these games don't come around that often, and they are absolutely must-plays. And they are doing a fantastic job adapting this first game into this show. Personally, I had no doubts because the creator of the games is working on this show.
Wow,
He's
yeah.
Good.
hands-on, making sure they do it right, and not only do it right, but improve on some of the things that they think they could improve on. And there's been a little shift here and there with episode 3. That was not in the game.
Oh, well, and I assumed, I was like, even if it was in the game, like, not without getting into specifics, it was
The
like
characters were
this
in
is
the
a
game,
whole episode
but they built this episode
around that.
to improve upon some of the character development that you didn't get in the game.
Okay.
Man, this show is absolutely must-see TV for me. I'm parked in front of the big TV every Sunday night at 8 with Shana and my daughter Tegan, and we watch it straight through. We all cry, and then we go to bed.
So a regular night for me, really, outside of everything else. All right, Danny. Well said,
so
Scotty.
I played both games. I'm waiting till this finishes. So when you say episode 3, I know who's in episode 3. That in the game, I think, was told through like a journal form. You'd find written pieces, but I know that because I know the story you're referencing, but I know that has to hit differently when it's told in like a flashback fashion. I'm excited for it. I've heard nothing but good things. I know it's one of those shows I don't want to watch every week. I want to watch straight through. So I'm waiting until it gets to about like the last week where I'll start watching it, because I'll probably be done by the time the last episode's ready to come
only
out.
3 episodes left. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
3
Start in
weeks.
2 weeks.
There you go. Yeah, it's like that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, oh man, now I've already watched 3. Now I gotta watch. Maybe I watch 3 more and then watch 3 more.
Yeah,
Like, it's like
there
3
you go.
movies. All right. Well, hell, everybody watched The Last of Us on HBO. Apparently,
absolutely.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's February, and I'm pretty confident to say this will probably end up being one of the best shows of the year.
Oh, 100%.
Already
I can guarantee you Nick Offerman is winning an Emmy
for something.
for something.
Yeah. Who knows?
Absolutely.
All right, there it is. Last of Us. And last but not least, we're trying out a new segment, and it's going to give us a whole sorts of training for how we talk about these movies. So you're a lucky listener. We're calling it the 5-minute mini meet.
Oh,
5-minute mini meet.
mini meats.
The petite filet.
That's right. Just, a mini slider or something.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, we told you we were going to talk about Blade 2. We're going to talk about Blade 2. We're going to make it super quick. I'm going to take up 2 out of the 5 minutes to really just tell you about the movie, who made it, all the fun stuff. I want you guys to just have a rating and like 1 or 2 sentences about this film. That's all we need to say about it, first of all. We talked about the first one, Blade 1. This is Blade 2 coming at you. 2002? I think it's the one thing I forgot from this list. No, 2002? Does that sound right? Blade 2?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the last one was like 2007.
Director
Yep.
Guillermo del Toro came in, and coming back, Wesley Snipes, obviously. Chris Christopherson, Ron Perlman, produced by New Line Cinema, distributed by AOL Time Warner at the time. This had a budget of $54 million. Blade 1 had $45 million, just if you're curious. Opening weekend at the time in 2002, $32.5 million. International box office, $72.6 million. Total worldwide box office, $154 million. Rotten Tomatoes, 57% on this movie. 2 out of 5 for Common Sense Media. 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb. My notes, give you the story super quick. This is the fastest you've ever heard us tell a story.
Let's go.
First of all, listen to our episode on Blade, because I did
go back.
a couple
Pause
times.
right now.
Yeah.
Go back.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's really good. Season 3, episode 5, hilarious, so much fun. I couldn't. I mean, it got me pumped for this movie. This movie is nothing near as good as the first one. I'm excited for Blade Trinity. All right, so the story of this one, man. Cold Open is a vampire feeding center and a new monster on the streets that eats vampires.
So
it's like
vampire.
A vampire that eats vampires, all right? Blade is back. He tells us his backstory all over again, and it turns out Chris Christopherson, Whistler, got turned in the first movie, and he's back.
Yep.
Not only that, but Blade's hunting him to kill him, but it's not going to, obviously they're going to be friends again.
Yeah, of course.
Blade plus Vamps plus the Whistler plus Scud. Do you guys remember Scud?
Scud, Norman Reedus.
Yeah,
Daryl?
that's
I did
what
not
thought.
remember
Daryl.
him being in this.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Huge part.
Major player
Yeah.
in the movie. Take on the Vampires 2.0, as I called him, with a one-time team up. No funny business. No funny business, Blade and
Got it.
vampires, now that we're teams. The sunlight ends up killing the people. The vamp leader is the one that made all the creatures, it turned out. And the main creature, the son, kills the dad and the daughter. Blade wins. And that was the movie. I give it a 1.5.
Holy
Boy.
shit.
Giggler.
I gave it a 3.0.
What'd
a
you
whole
think?
double of yours.
Whoa!
Wow. I would agree.
So
good, we're
it
live.
deserves its own music.
Where's my applause button?
I broke it. I broke it.
All right, that's all you get. 3.0.
I mean,
You
you're
loved
right.
it.
You're right. I don't think this is as good as the first one, but
Not near as good.
I
But
mean-
I've already talked. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not gonna watch it again. So you're right. Maybe I should lower that a little bit, below a 3.
But you had a
given
good
our rating
time.
Scale, but I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Maybe I was in a bad mood that day.
You never know.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
probably.
Definitely go back and watch it again.
I got this. I paid $4. Yeah, you got four to watch on there.
Yeah,
I had to buy this on like Amazon or something for $4.
I did
so-
too. Had to pay for it.
But
Oh,
at
I
the
came
end,
in too late.
I just
telling you guys
saying-
it was free on Tubi.
You got it. Oh yeah, with ads.
Oh yeah, I'm too lazy for that. I was like,
All
I
right.
paid
Only
that
an
$4
hour
to-
and
to
20
skip those
minutes.
commercials, and I wasn't mad about it. So
You were fine with it. All right, Scotty.
I'm gonna have to side with Andy on this one. This is super fun.
I loved it.
Loved it.
Go ahead.
This has turned into a thing with me and my 12-year-old Lila. We watch all these movies. She loves it. Special shout out Ron Perlman.
Oh man.
Great. In every like Guillermo del Toro movie, of course. Donnie Yen, international superstar. Ip Man, if anybody's ever seen that, great
Yep.
movies. Man, super fun. I would probably give this like a 3.
Nice.
Lila's score 3.9.
Ooh, not as good as Blade.
No,
I
not
don't
as good as
think.
Blade. And stay tuned for Blade 3 score.
Hey, and Blade 3, it's coming. Danny, you watched this too, right? You were ready for
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I actually caught it on sale, so it was $2 to rent that day. But yeah, I mean, this is like a straight like C-level movie for me. So I don't know, like a 2.6. Fun, good action, but I mean, the plot was really just driving us to the next action sequence. So I had fun. Hadn't watched it in a while. Probably won't watch it again for a while.
All right, thank you guys. I mean, that's as quick as you get. 5-minute mini meet. That's the movie. Heard the ratings. We also have on DVD. I got this on Amazon. A 4-film collection
4, yes.
because we know what's next, right? We're gonna talk about Blade Trinity. We might do like a mini meet again, but maybe we make it 10 minutes or something. There's also in this thing, the 4th movie is called Blade: House of Chthon.
So
Animated.
no, there was, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but there was a spinoff, not a spinoff, but they recast the role. There was a guy named Sticky Fingers. who played him on I think they did the show on Spike TV, and then they made like a short feature film with him.
And this is it?
This is it.
And I mean, it's in here. It's at the 4-film collection. This was $8 for me on Amazon. I didn't put the contest on the website, but listen, if you want this DVD and you are willing to write us in at the website, I will send you this 4-pack.
Probably really difficult to get a hold of that Sticky Fingers film collection.
I couldn't believe that I found this.
I can't believe I remembered his name.
Sticky Fingers?
Sticky Fingers.
How do you forget that name?
All right, guys, that's your 5-minute mini-me. We'll bring in some more stuff like that in the future, little bite-sized segments to highlight some films. And we told you we'd talk about Blade 2. Watch out for Blade Trinity in the future. And the big meat is coming right up. Before that, we're going to take a quick breather, a quick break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
In 1961, the Fantastic Four returned from space and the world changed forever.
Over the next year, the Earth experienced 3 alien attacks, the destruction of Lower Manhattan, and the re-emergence of ancient gods.
Super Serious 616 is the podcast that covers it all from the inside.
What would it be like to live in that world?
Join Ed and Mike as they ask questions no one else is asking.
Is Iron Man a good use of shareholder capital?
Subscribe at Super Serious 616 or wherever you get your podcasts.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes back here in the studio after a great first half of our Season 4 premiere. We are so glad you're here. We're so glad you're joining us. And there's plenty of ways to join us online, mostlysuperheroes.com, and also in person. Lots of events coming up, lots of giveaways happening. Every bit of info that you could possibly need is at mostlysuperheroes.com. Here with Scotty Scoop, the Giggler, and Danny Patron. I'm Logan, and we are in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just talking about some of our favorite stuff, something that has been on the horizon for a long time. Phase 5. Here we go. Holy cow. Phase 4 just ended with, really, I guess technically, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Yeah.
Also, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And here we are in February of 2023 with a bust-out film, the third of a trilogy, character that's been sprinkled all throughout the MCU, a cast that's also been sprinkled throughout the MCU. We're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, spoiler alert, right now. That's right. So excited to break into this movie with you guys. This has been one that I'm really excited to nerd out about. We've all seen this just recently. It just opened just before the weekend. So a real recent watch, super fresh, and want to get right into the stuff that you care about first. How's this thing doing, and what are we talking about at all? The synopsis from online. Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne, along with Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, explore the quantum realm, where they interact with strange creatures and embark on an adventure that goes beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. Director Peyton Reed is here. Writers Jeff Loveless, Jack Kirby. Stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Jonathan Majors, Catherine Newton, and of course produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Disney Motion Pictures. This movie had a budget of $200 million. Opening weekend doing okay at $104 million. This was from a couple days ago. Domestic box office at $81.6 million. So might want to pull in some updated numbers. Maybe we can bring it in before it's been a couple of days. So maybe we'll bring that in before we wrap up today. Some of the things I saw that I actually online about ticket sales, I thought, one of the questions is how's the movie business doing, and how's the theater business happening? How are things going? And according to IMDb, it looks like notably 28% of the ticket buyers opted for premium format theaters, paying an average of $4 or $5 more per ticket. So, that's a sign that people are willing to get to the big screen to see some of these, especially these epic, visually stunning movies like this one. And if you're wondering how Quantumania, the Ant-Man 3 did compared to, say, the first Ant-Man film, it looks like this movie made about double what its predecessor made in 2015. And this is the 31st consecutive MCU to debut a number one at the domestic box office. The 31st MCU movie to be the first in the box office.
I think that'll keep going for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think that's slowing down anytime soon. All right, before we get into the story, I'd like to get this out of the way too, just to knock it out. Rotten Tomatoes, not looking too good. 47%.
It's real low.
46% on Metacritic, 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, but 85% of Google users do like this movie. Before we sit down, we get into story mode. We try out our new format of getting through the story pretty quickly. Always like to do a gut check and really get the experience of you guys seeing this movie. You know, when you're sitting down in the theater for Ant-Man, what was this movie to you? You know, in 1 minute or less. We'll start with you, Giggler. When did you see it? How did you see it? How was your viewing experience? And going into it, what was your hype like?
Opening Thursday, always. I can't wait any longer.
Yeah, that self-control thing. It
immediately to IMAX. Yeah,
You're just...
I went for the premium always too. I mean, there's no, you can't spare expense for the opening of Phase 5 is this. I think I'll definitely re-see this in 3D though next time around.
That
seems entertaining. Entering the quantum realm myself, feeling like I'm really there. Let's do that.
And after your experience with Avatar: The Way of Water, you're like, but give me those 3D glasses again.
Yeah, I'd be down. But
all right,
for sure. I mean, it was. Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Scotty Scoop, tell us about your experience. How was it? What theater did you go to?
I went to the Marcus in the Valley.
Okay.
Saw it on the Super Screen DLX. Not quite an IMAX, but it's pretty large. Theater was full. Saw it, and this was at 11 a.m. on a Sunday.
The best.
So, you know,
wow.
Great experience. A cautionary tale. Seeing a trailer and basing everything you think you know off the trailer. I had a real fun time.
Very good.
Yeah.
Danny P, how about you?
Went to an AMC here, digital. It went on Monday, so there was a lot of kids off on that day. So
you hated it.
I was getting ready to tell a couple of them to shut the heck up, but this one kid just kept everything he was like verbally reacting to, and I'm like, come on, man, we're all in this movie together. Like,
execute
shut up.
Order 66.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to go Anakin, kill some younglings.
The theater.
But my difficulty right now is AMC starting. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they're starting to do, you pay different prices based on the seat. So the better located seats are going to be more expensive, and the ones you would never buy anyway are going to be less expensive or just normal price. So I don't know. I've been an A-list Stubs member for a while because it's got some good perks, but we'll have to evaluate that as things change. But really excited going in. We'll talk about how I felt going out. But Avatar ruined special effects for me, I'm afraid. So I'll share when we talk more about our opinions. But something about that movie.
Did AMC ever get you, accommodations for their flub when you saw Avatar 2?
They did not.
No.
Between both of these things, might be looking elsewhere. But they got the IMAX, and they got the special digital with the surround sound that basically makes the seat shake.
Yep.
So
Marcus Theater's got IMAX. I don't know if they have them in Texas.
They don't have them here. That's the problem. You gotta go
it's
like a studio movie grill or a what's the other one you can eat at that people like, a little more hipsterish.
We got the Alamo here.
We got the Alamo now. Yeah.
Just
Alamo's
Alamo Draft House.
But like both of those are like old theaters that went out of business here that then they bought and like made like a little bit nicer, but still the like screens aren't as big. Like, I don't know. I'm with you guys. Like these movies I like to see on as big a screen as I can get, and that's not even an option outside of, going to some of these big AMC ones. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I totally agree. I feel like sometimes I'll skimp on the IMAX, and then as soon as I get there, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, do the IMAX. It's double the screen essentially.
Yeah, if I'm going to like a rom-com or something, sure, I'll go. I don't care how big the screen is.
Well,
but
you got a lot more of those in your future now. You got a lot more of those.
Oh,
that's okay.
All right,
not based on the fact that Hollywood doesn't really make them much anymore. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
they've been taking.
They go straight to Netflix or Hulu or Amazon.
Yeah,
so
that category's taken a hit over the years.
Yeah.
Well, a category that hasn't taken a hit are the superhero films. Why don't we talk about this one? You guys ready to just get into the story?
let's go.
It's story time. Here comes your story music. Story time.
Just gets better and better.
With Logan Levi Janice.
All right, guys. This movie didn't have a cold open. I had to really think about it. I was like, did it cold open or did we get that Marvel sequence first? We got that Marvel sequence first. And it was just normal. Nothing special, right? Just kind of like the run-of-the-mill.
They added Shuri
Uh-huh.
to the Marvel opening.
Yes, and some of the recent characters.
I think they put Kang in there as well.
Yes, okay. They're adding recent characters. It's looking good. And, honestly, before we even get right into this opening, because this is one of my favorite parts of the film, little catch-up with Scott Lang and Ant-Man, right? Okay, so, we have episodes on all these movies, first of all. But we got Ant-Man, the first movie, all right? Paul Rudd becomes Ant-Man, teams up with Hank Pym, gets the suit. All right, cool. Then he gets tapped in Captain America Civil War to fight with Captain America in Germany against Iron Man in that epic film. Kind of starts becoming an Avenger. Gets his own movie again, a sequel to the film, Ant-Man and the Wasp, where he's finally teaming up with Hope Van Dyne, getting in a suit. The two of these guys doing some badassery, leading into the Avengers Endgame movie. You might remember Ant-Man and the Wasp happened right after Avengers Infinity War, and we had that really crazy post-credit scene where Scott gets stuck in the quantum realm, his family is outside, gets totally dusted, and except for his daughter, she survives, but he's gone for 5 years. He misses 5 years of his life, comes back. We learn all about this in Endgame. He teams up with the Avengers to go back in time and snap everybody back.
Time heist.
The time heist. Here we go. Ant-Man 3, Quantumania. Holy cow, I swear, when Kevin Feige told me about this one, I just saw it up on the screen, and it's just like, man, what is going to happen here? What is this movie going to be? Quantumania, the title itself. Then finding out that, okay, we're going to get lots of Kang in the MCU. This is our big bad. I mean, we know that he's a title villain in one of the big Avengers movies that's going to be happening in a couple years. We've met this character one time in Loki, and now this is the movie of the big entrance. Like, we're going to see this guy pretty much as the main villain of this movie, at least per, like Scott said, the trailers.
Yeah.
So how's this one open? You guys remember? You might remember from Ant-Man and the Wasp, 30 years ago, Jan Van Dyne got stuck in the quantum realm after saving some people and from a rocket, essentially. You can just see it, right? Getting on that rocket and going in through the aluminum, had to shrink between the molecules and go quantum. This movie opens up with a flashback to that time where she's stuck in the quantum realm. A spaceship comes down, lands on the ground. A man is crawling on the ground and looks up. It is Kang, and he says, "What is this place?"
Yeah.
What were you guys thinking? Giggler?
I did not expect it to open that way, but I loved it. There's a lot of mystery of you know he's going to be there, but just starting with that, it's just kind of a good, I don't know, just
yeah,
I really liked it. Yeah,
felt like that Marvel cold open. Felt a lot like what they kind of did with Thor: Love and Thunder with the Christian Bale, kind of like showing you the villain first in a vulnerable state. That seems to kind of like to be a thing of like, oh, this guy's down for the count.
Right. Maybe this isn't what we thought it was.
Exactly.
You know?
He looks like he needs help. Essentially, is
Right.
kind of what you're thinking. Okay. All right, cut to present day. Scott Lang, here he is. He's telling you about his life. They did the whole new thing where the inner monologue is like for us now. When we hear Scott Lang talking to himself, I'm Ant-Man. I've been through some crazy stuff, but I'm doing okay. I wrote my book. Don't count out the little man, or
something like that.
Something like that. He's signing. He's like a celebrity at the Baskin Robbins where he used to work.
Employee of the century.
Employee of the century. And his daughter and him are playing like some catch up. Recast, by the way, the daughter. Not who you met in Endgame. They brought in, I already forgot her name. I just read it a second ago.
Catherine Newton.
Catherine Newton. She's coming in as Scott Lang's daughter.
Cassie.
Jelly Bean. Or Peanut?
Peanut. Yeah.
Jelly Bean.
No idea.
that's me.
That's you. Peanut. And he's playing catch up with her. She's very much taking up the family business. She's like, I have a shrink suit. I got in trouble for shrinking a cop car at like a riot or like a peaceful protest.
Right.
Very much trying to take up the hero mantle. Very close with Hank and Jan. Jan's out of the quantum realm, but she's just trying to live her normal life. And Hope is back. We got Evangeline Lilly here coming back strong with her new pixie haircut. That's new. I think that might be somewhat comic accurate.
Yes.
Or inspired, I would say. I think that Evangeline Lilly just wanted that haircut though, and like she was just like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care.
She killed it.
She killed it. She looked great. Turns out Cassie's been looking in the quantum realm with old Grandpa Hank Pym, and apparently was essentially trying to save her dad when he was trapped in the quantum realm all those years.
Yeah.
Right? She's a young kid. She knows about roughly what happened to him. There's a funny line in the toward the beginning of the movie where he's like, I just want you to be a normal kid. And she says, a giant bumblebee attacked me when I was 6.
Right, trying to kill me in my bedroom.
In my bedroom. I'm not normal, and it's super valid. They all get in the basement all at the same time, and they're talking about this machine essentially she built that could track things in the quantum realm, but it works as kind of like a two-way radio. It sends a signal out, bounces back, and you can see Jane Van Dyne. Janet.
Yeah.
What'd I say?
Jane.
Janet, kind of starting to panic and saying like, hey guys, we need to turn this off. And also I have to tell you like so many things.
Right. I was keeping a lot of stuff from you. That I probably, in hindsight, should not have done.
I think her exact line was, I kept something from you. And I'm like, now that I've seen the movie, I'm like, you mean everything?
Right.
Like your whole life?
Like 30 years worth of stuff?
Yes.
She was sleeping with Bill Murray for a long time.
Yeah, we're going to just go down the whole path.
I got ahead of myself.
Well, but
That's
you gotta, don't forget they had a family dinner where they just dogged on Scott.
Oh, yeah,
for
basically.
some reason, because this is his character development plot. He doesn't feel like a superhero anymore or have a purpose kind of thing. So.
Yeah, or does he? Because it didn't seem like you really knew what he was feeling outside of just like kind of going through the motions, but
just going with what they gave us.
Yep, exactly.
He was always kind of a reluctant superhero.
Yeah, just like whatever you need. Like throw him in the back of the van, take him to Germany, right? Oh, now I need you to steal this.
Hey, I need
stuff.
you to steal this. Here's the suit. And I need you to go and steal this. And then I need you to steal this. And hey, you came back. How about a time heist?
Yeah, it is. We're always bringing him in to get the heist going.
Yeah.
Before he even has anybody has a second to talk about it, think about it, this thing sucks them all in. And
they shut it down. And it turns itself back on.
Yeah, it turns itself back on.
Sucks everybody in.
Portal opens up right in the middle, and they're flipping right away through the quantum realm. I mean, pretty epic scene, right? This is pretty fun, seeing them like kind of hanging on, and Hope throws on her suit and goes after her parents.
Yeah,
like,
Janet and
cool.
Hank get sucked in, so Hope lets go, and then Cassie gets sucked in, so Scott lets go.
Hits his suit. They got the suits that kind of just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The super ants are going with them.
Oh yeah, sucks in the super ants, the tiny super ants.
That would be very relevant.
Yeah, that was coming back.
Like these ants aren't just gonna.
They've all got their little helmets on.
Yeah, and apparently, like they're all like able to survive. They don't need like a suit on. They're just kind of falling. They land somewhere, and Hank even says, "Like, how are we alive? This is crazy." I thought there was nothing down here, and here we go. We've landed in the quantum realm. Quantumania is off. Like, I mean, this is from the get-go. It's the first 20 minutes of the movie. All right, so. I mean, this is where we get into the whole backstory of Janet, and we're meeting everybody Janet's encountered. Let's just go down the list, right? Who's in the quantum realm? There's a huge, pretty much like a rebellion going on, essentially, like a group of people that are fighting somebody that's tormented them. She's also got like old spy friends that know her from different parts of her life, and then. I don't know how quickly they get to this, but the long story short is we already knew from the opening of the movie she met Kang early on.
Oh, yeah. She knows who Kang is.
She's got a relationship with this guy, and we learn a little bit more kind of trickled in through flashbacks with this guy. And, I mean, this is really what it is. And I kind of got a little confused about, Kang, what do we learn? He got banished to the quantum realm by the other Kangs.
The Council of Kangs.
The Council of Kangs. And, I mean, for you MCU fans, you might already know about a little bit of this, right?
This is a real thing.
Have you watched Loki? you got some intel from that, and then Scotty, you're very familiar probably, which is with like this Kang storyline that we are embarking on. Multiple Kangs through multiple multiverses all kind of end up doing the same thing. They all end up knowing about the multiverse, and then they kind of fight it out, right?
Right.
He was so bad that he got banished, which to me, I'm like, man, he was the bad of the bad.
Right.
Or was he the one that like they're worried about?
Yeah.
Essentially the one that like might win. Like, and then I think too, man, the Loki Kang, he was the one who remains. So all this is in my mind as you're kind of seeing this. This is how it was for me watching it. Like, it's hard, and I had just watched that last episode before this movie. And essentially, she thinks he's just a normal guy that's trying to escape just like her.
Yeah.
Until she gets to see inside of his mind.
They fix his machine.
Yep.
Basically.
Multiverse engine machine.
Yes. They fix it, and she touches the power source, and it basically shows her everything that he's done.
It's a neuro link.
Yeah.
She can see like everything he's done.
She sees everything and immediately cuts him off.
Yeah. Goes from being friends to going, I'm out.
Yep.
I can see you slaughtering
Yeah.
worlds.
Oh, I screwed up.
I can see you cutting timelines.
Yep.
Like they showed the timelines and how they branched off and how he was cutting them down. Again, this is all going to make you think of Loki. And this is essentially how she makes a villain not a villain, but an enemy out of Kang, because she blows up the one power source that he needs, and it blocks him from leaving. So what's he do in the meantime?
Slaps it with the PIM particles.
And blows it up.
Makes it so huge that it's obviously not usable.
Looks like a planet, right? And this is where we find out, like, okay, well, since that happened, what's he do? He pretty much builds an empire within the quantum realm. And he's able to use technology that's around and people that are around to, he had a massive, I don't even know if you call it like a castle, ship, like compound.
Yeah.
And armies and ships and machinery and guns. And he's been, I guess, victimizing and terrorizing the other people that are around in the quantum realm. But that's where I get confused. Like, I thought there was something about, like, where these people in the quantum realm come from. Or I guess they were just, like, always there. It's just universes upon universes.
It's, yeah.
Just like the
it
multiverse.
almost seems like a dumping point for stuff.
Yeah.
You get all kinds of weird stuff in this place, whether it's from other multiverses or other, universes, and it's its own universe, but it's kind of out of time. It's a very strange thing to kind of grasp.
Yeah, not quite the dumping ground of what was it, Aliath or Eliath and Loki, but it is. It's a similar type thing where like you can kind of just end up here, or it's a great place to banish people you find,
right?
It's like kind of cut off.
If you don't have a way to get out, then there's no getting out.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't really explain that at all, because like even at one point they asked Bill Murray, they're like, "Oh, so you're human?" He's like, "Oh, is that what you call
whatever
yourselves?"
Yeah.
It's just like, we're just not gonna we're not gonna really go.
Yeah, we don't need to dive that deep.
Let's get it out of the way. Bill Murray's in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Murray's in the MCU. I think that they kept him on a path.
Yeah.
And he played this role that was like an old friend of Janet and really actually an old lover.
Yeah.
Very clearly an old lover. That is referenced a lot.
Yeah, he's by him mainly.
Yeah.
And it turns out like he made some kind of deal with Kang to kind of become this lord, and she thought he was going to help them with a ride and like kind of get what happens right in the with the crew itself. They get split up. Hope and Cassie get split up and kind of have their own journey with the people of the quantum realm. They meet the jelly type guy, and they drink his juice.
He just needs some holes.
Drink the juice.
That was hilarious.
The holes doesn't have any holes. Drink the juice, and what happens when you drink the juice? Everybody can talk.
Translator, yeah.
It's translate juice. So they're split up, but very quickly, Kang finds out where they are, takes them captive. Meanwhile, Janet, Hank.
Well, he sends the ultimate killing machine,
MODOK.
Oh, man.
Which I'm not going to remember the acronym for it.
MODOK. Yeah, let's just get out of the way. Ultimate killing machine.
Mechanized organism designed only for killing.
Yeah,
this is it. The movie that I have some fun facts about this film and some stuff on MODOK, but you get him in this movie.
Yeah.
They only show parts of him, kind of like coming in from the sky and like attacking the people, and you're just like, oh, what was that?
Right.
And you don't really get to meet him until he comes face to face with Scott when they got him prisoner at Kang's fortress. And he's like, hello, old nemesis.
Yeah.
And then Scott's like, what? Who are you? And he's like, don't you remember your old friend?
Like drops his face mask. Boom.
Darren
Cross.
Darren Cross from the first movie, the antagonist from the first movie, the Bumblebee that attacked
Yellow
Cassie.
Jacket.
Yellow Jacket. I say Bumblebee. He got shrunken down in the quantum realm.
Yeah, and you saw it in the first movie.
Oh my god.
Where he got hit with the shrink stuff, and he was kind of shrinking in pieces. And apparently that continued all the way down,
except for his head.
Except for
Especially
his
those
head,
legs.
Which kind of got, he got the baby legs, the baby
arms,
and he is MODOK.
He has
right.
been turned into a killing machine by Kang.
All right, was this a moment for anybody? Like,
This was a moment for me.
I could tell this was a moment for fans. It wasn't
Yeah.
for me. Scott, tell us about this moment.
This is just an outrageous character from the comic books. Got his own show on Hulu, an animated show.
Patton
Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt.
Man. And you're just like, wow, I cannot believe they brought this level of ridiculous
He looks
to the MCU.
so ridiculous too. His head,
So ridiculous.
his face. It just looks goofy.
It was a little, the CGI was a little sketchy, but whatever. It's MODOK.
MODOK. They had plans to bring MODOK into so many other titles. I was going to bring up some of them. So they were going to try to bring him into. In 1997, Stan Lee wrote a script for an Iron Man film for 20th Century Fox that featured MODOK. Christopher Marcus wanted MODOK to appear in Captain America: The Winter Soldier with Peter Dinklage playing him.
Yeah. Wow. It's a little strange.
And then they, obviously went with Alexander Pierce in that movie. Dinklage obviously played someone in Infinity War. He was one of the Nevadillier.
Eitri, the elf.
Yep, that's right. There was rumor also for MODOK to appear in Avengers Infinity War. They tried to get MODOK in the 5th season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Keith David was supposed to play MODOK in the canceled TV series New Warriors. So, hey, man, lots of opportunities. Never happened until now.
Finally got him.
That's for you, Scotty. Oh,
Yes.
God.
Love it.
I need multiple applause buttons is what I need. That's what I'm learning today on the show. I'll give it up for MODOK. And you MODOK fans, this is probably a long time coming. I'm sure when you saw him shooting out with his saws and his little arms and everything, it was pretty good.
And this is a different from his comic origin, right? This is completely new. So that's kind of cool. I like when they
worked
do
it
things
in.
like that. That's shows they can still be creative.
Gotta make it different.
Yeah.
All right, so really moving through the story at this point, the mission becomes clear. Don't let Kang leave, and we got to do it together. I mean, that's what it comes down to. The premise, I guess, that they're kind of the theme of what they're working with is Scott's daughter wants to help everybody. Scott is like, we just got to get out of here. You know,
I just want to go. I don't really care about helping everyone else. I'm only really worried about you.
Yeah.
And myself.
Yes, and we just got to leave.
He's a reluctant superhero.
Reluctant superhero once again. And that's the hill that he's like having to overcome in this movie, and he does, right? So then what's he do? He teams up with the people.
You can see when they get attacked, he kind of wants to stay back, and she suits up.
She suits up, and she like runs toward the danger. I want to help.
She's
this
bouncing
other
off
person.
people because she doesn't understand how to fight.
Tap punch,
tap punch. He's trying to teach her how. Much like Hope taught him how in the first movie.
It's like, did you see how I did it? She's like,
Right.
no, I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, you were very small.
Cassie has her big moment helping the rebellion people like escape from the prison. She gets on the big loud comm and like motivates everybody to come help. And epic fight scenes. We have not talked about the CGI a lot in this. I mean, this movie is 99% CGI. That they were definitely filming in front of that big dome thing that they have now.
Green arena.
Well,
I'm
green
sure.
is, they use, green screens, blue screens. We all know about this. But if you've watched, I think Industrial Light and Magic, they show you the stuff they're using on Star Wars and Mandalorian now, and they use it for Marvel movies. They shot Thor: Love and Thunder on it for sure. And I forget what it's called, but it's
the volume.
I think you're right. The volume
that they use for the Batman.
It's like it sounds right. You know, if you just look up like big giant Disney movie shooting screen, I mean, it's essentially like they don't need the green screens anymore.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're shooting pretty much with what is around you on the screen. Essentially, a lot of stuff you see in Thor: Love and Thunder when they're on other planets, the stuff they used to paint in the backgrounds for like the old Star Wars movies, now they just have an actual screen where like you're pretty much there.
Oh, okay.
It's insane.
So you're standing in front of a bunch of TV screens.
It's not even a bunch of TV screens. It's one giant mega oval screen.
Okay.
Like you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like it's real.
If you watch the Batman on HBO Max and go to the special scenes or whatever, there's a really good video on it that shows pretty cool, especially with the scenes that they use. It's specifically the chase scene, which is one of the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's phenomenal.
Back to the MCU though.
All right, well, backing up. Hey, we're approaching the end of this thing. It comes to a head. The battle is happening.
Well, Kang has taken Cassie.
Okay.
You know.
Yes, he's got Cassie, and he tells Scott, "There's only one way you're out of here at all."
Right. I need you to steal something for me.
And this is
Basically.
Somebody's got to get the MacGuffin.
Yep.
Wouldn't be a Marvel movie
like,
without
hey,
a MacGuffin.
I need you to get in here, and I need you to shrink this time battery. You know, my car battery. I need you to shrink it back down. So we can get out of here.
Yeah, it's really big.
And,
I need it to be small again.
And then you can have your daughter. I don't really care.
Probably one of my top favorite scenes in the movie, though. A real look at Kang, a look at his powers.
Oh yeah,
a look at his.
He's
his
almost
style.
like force choking everyone. His Darth Vader moves here, where he's throwing Scott and Cassie around. He's got her hovered in the air. You know, laying sideways. He's, choking him.
Yeah.
You really get to see his level of power.
I'm so ready to see some of these origin stories of Kang. Like, I want to see like the early days. I want to see like, he's like, I know he's different people probably sometimes, but like Nathaniel Reed Richards, I feel like, from like the 31st century and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's all leading there. Like, we're eventually going to get these stories of like seeing the multiverse for the first time. But at this moment, you're just getting this guy in his full villain suit, and he's like, "I'll kill your daughter," and he's like bending her to her bones.
Yeah, like I'll do it right now.
And being quirky, being the funny, offbeat Scott Lang isn't going to save you this time.
No. And he even says, like, he knows who the Avengers are.
Yeah. Who's the one with the axe?
The hammer?
The hammer?
Are you the one with the hammer? And he knows.
I've killed
he's not.
many Avengers.
Yeah. Have I killed you yet? Yeah.
So good. Like, those scenes, I was like, hell yeah. So yeah, you got to go in there, Scott. You got to shrink down into the giant battery, and it's going to mess with your mind. And how's it going to do that? Mainly with what you called it earlier, Andy, a probability
storm.
Yep.
And what's that mean for him? Copying himself.
It means
infinitely.
Every decision that he could make
will be duplicated into a new version of him.
Is being played out, almost like a smaller version of what's happening with the timelines.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps branching, and then branches branch, and those branches branch, and every decision that you could make is being shown right in front of you. These just splitting off like crazy amoebas on crack.
Yeah, and we had just watched Living with Yourself, the show with Paul Rudd on Netflix, where, I don't want to tell you what happens. You should just watch that show. And,
oh, my God.
And it's about a couple Paul Rudds, and that's all I'll say.
That's funny. I forgot about that.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, I couldn't help but think about that. But that was a crazy scene. You can't. This is some of the best CGI that you're going to see, like the growing, the shrinking. They really brought it on this movie, the technology. And in this probability storm, it's like full force.
Yeah, he's shrinking. He's trying different things to get to the core of this machine.
It's not working.
And it's not working. And finally, he gets the version of Scott that still works at the Baskin Robbins,
yes.
Employee of the Century.
Yep.
And somehow he gets all these versions of himself to work together.
Yeah, he goes, we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
Cassie.
Do it for her.
Get him up. And
and they all start chanting.
And I had the chills.
Yeah,
I was
for
like,
sure.
getting the vibe. I'm sure you was a dad too.
Yeah,
like,
all my kids were there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like I was feeling it. I was like, oh shoot. Okay. And then Hope
comes down
and saves him, pulls him out. They are able to shrink the thing down, and this is the big moment. Kang is there. They're there. Hand it over. Don't hand it over. we made a deal. He's like, I don't care if we made a deal. I'm going to keep your daughter. He just takes it from him with his force powers. And what happens next? I mean, this is the big battle, essentially.
This is
They basically are like, we got to go fight.
They're like, he takes his stuff back up. He's like getting his shit going.
Cassie is fighting with MODOK.
Cassie's fighting MODOK.
And
because he sends him to like go kill her.
Right.
He's like, go
kill her.
And he gets the whole speech from her where she's like, listen, Darren,
you're just a dick.
Just stop. He's like, that's all I know how to do. He's like, tell me what to be. I'll be it.
That was so weird. That was one of the weirdest scenes in the whole MCU.
Yeah.
Especially when they showed earlier in the movie when they showed his like him being made and they showed his like naked butt.
Yeah,
his
naked
little tiny
butt. I was like,
arms.
what is this?
And like just putting him in the suit.
I was like, this movie's kind of for kids, and you just showed that weird alien's butt.
Kids have butts.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
It's funny. It's a good laugh point.
I laughed. I was laughing.
She jumps on the projector.
She gets everybody riled up.
Trying to get all the rebellion together. And
Scott goes mega giant man.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest he's ever been before. Yep. And he runs in and it's attacking the dome around Kang's fortress. Like, this is what's protecting Kang. He's trying to just get his ship fired up. And Scott's like trying to beat it. Cassie ends up getting big. They're both big, so they get to kind of do it. And then right when it seems like they're not doing so hot, it's going horribly, Kang even gets so pissed he just comes down into the crowd and is just massacring people with his beams,
lasering people all over the place.
This is where they showed just like the flat out disregard for life.
Yeah,
this guy has no regard for life. It's about we just got to wipe these folks out. The powers look crazy. I mean, the beams coming out of his hands. Was this adding up for you as a person that maybe knows Kang a little bit? For me, I'm like, I still don't know exactly everything this guy can do. They don't tell you anything. They just like, here's this
Not
villain.
Really. I mean, he just kind of is who they say he is.
Yeah, because he's got the tech. He's a genius, mainly.
He's a future time traveling Iron Man.
Yeah,
basically.
It's like Iron Man, but like next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean he was a huge part of Secret Wars, first comic book that I ever read, basically. And I mean, it feels like this character was just ripped off of those pages, like from like the suit and everything, just completely one of the best.
The suit looked great.
Comic accurate ones that they've done from the start, I think, for sure.
All right, well, as it's going down and he's murking everyone, who comes and saves the day?
Ants.
Hank.
Ants! The smart ants.
Now they're even smarter.
Oh, not only, remember how smart they are? He said that they fell into a time vortex. They landed somewhere. They lived for thousands of years, and they built their own society, and they evolved well past everybody else. And I mean, there was just so many of them, and like the technology was crazy, and they got like gunships, and here they come, man. And I mean, they
developed socialism. That's what he said.
Yeah,
he developed socialism.
He goes, now say what you want about socialism,
Okay.
but I mean, that was quite a line for a Marvel movie. You know?
For sure.
Disney's like, baby steps.
Well, the irony is ants are driven by the queen, so it's like it's not really socialism when you have.
Aren't those? Is that true for ants? I thought that was bees.
No, it's the same with ants.
It's the same thing
It's
with ants.
an insect kingdom thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I was like, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't totally add up just based on the way the bugs work. But,
Well, in the battle,
Well, the monarchy is kind of not really anything anymore.
yeah.
well, they make a big dent. They actually like pile up on Kang. It looks like they might be able to even break through his fortress. They take down his stuff. The other army is there, like the local rebellion, and this is all going to come down to being in a room with Kang. They're all there facing him, one-on-one in his fortress. I don't know if I'm skipping anything.
Don't forget
here.
the MODOK sacrifice.
MODOK, yeah.
Oh man, MODOK.
Yeah, Cassie basically convinces him to fight against Kang and distracts him for like just enough time for the ants to kick in
Overtake
and carry him
him.
away. And I was like, wait, did ants really just end this movie?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I like they got a hold of his body. I was like, is he dead?
Yeah, and MODOK's laying there. He's out. He's done.
It's the big dying scene.
Yeah,
and he's like, Scott, you were like a brother.
He's like,
Oh, yeah, he
I
calls-
don't
he's
really
like, I guess I'm an
remember that."
Avenger now.
Yeah,
He goes
it's like,
I died an
I can't
Avenger.
believe I'm dying an
Just lucky
Avenger.
that I died an Avenger. And Scott goes,
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure, dude.
And Hope's like, you did.
Sure,
You did."
Dad.
It was pretty
Yeah.
good. Go ahead, Danny.
So I really like Kang. My biggest problems with him was I feel like there was more story to tell because unless I missed it, like I didn't understand why he did or was doing what he was doing. There was like a big gap there, and like he almost like alluded to like, no, there's a reason I had to do this, but
He does, right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we ever got that.
No.
And then he goes from like when you were talking about in the prison scene where he's like super powerful, I'm like, that's what I was like, okay, this can be a big bad because I'm always looking like if Kang's the next person, well, he's got to deal with Hulk and Thor and all these other superheroes with all these other powers, and Thanos could do it, made it interesting. When Kang got beat by the ants and all of a sudden, like, why couldn't Kang just nerf the ants like he did everybody else 2 seconds ago? So that was for me. I'm like, okay, did you like? And even when he's fighting Ant-Man, and then Will again in a minute, I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, at least when he was fighting him the second time, his like suit was broken, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I felt like when his suit was together, I'm like, where did all this power go? Like now he's overwhelmed. Too many ants.
Yep. I totally agree. Like, I feel like this is a villain that is like.
I
That's
wanted
exactly
him to
what-
be, yeah. I wanted them to trick him almost, and that's how they escape him, to where they never beat him. They just like got lucky.
Which jump to the end a little bit. It's kind of what Scott thinks about. He's like, how'd it go? Well, let's talk about this big
Yeah.
part because this is my probably favorite scene of the movie. They are able to. The ants do take away Kang, but Kang comes back at the last minute, right?
Yeah,
because
they're
they're able to
they're all
open
getting ready to go home.
They figured out how to open the portal.
They've opened the gate.
Yes.
Janet and Hank go through.
Yep.
Cassie goes through, and then Kang comes out of nowhere
And
Well-
and keeps Scott from coming through.
But Jane goes through. Cassie's standing there. He pushes
He
Cassie.
pushes her
yeah,
through.
yeah,
Oh,
pushes her
man.
through, makes the
Yeah.
sacrifice.
oh,
He's ready to stay.
this was it, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, this was it.
Yeah.
And hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah,
And Scott Lang is already not like the strongest fighter.
right.
And Kang like is just mopping the floor with him, and it's brutal
Yeah.
beating. I mean, I don't know, like you talk about kids watching this part. This is where I was like, yeah, this is it. Bring it.
Yeah.
This is like the edgiest the movie gets
For sure.
essentially.
And he says it right out. Like, you can tell Scott Lang has just given up going home
Yeah,
because he says,
that's over.
I don't have to win.
We just both
We
have-
just both have to lose.
and that's the moment.
All I have to do is keep you from going in.
And he takes the things. Hope came back, saves his ass,
Yeah.
blasts him, and then they hit him with the shrinking disc again
On the thing, and it sucks him into the time engine.
into the time and just kind of like disappears.
Yeah. Gone.
Gone. Right. Yeah, totally, right?
Yeah. For now.
And then to me was this scene that like felt like in the original cut, Scott's dead. And then in this cut, it was just like, oh, Hope, I love you. Oh, I
Yeah.
love you too.
Let's go home.
Kiss. Let's go home. And they go home. And it
Yeah.
felt like that. But I feel like they did a good job with like that lingering, because what do we get? Scott
We
kind
get
of like
Scott
that inner monologue.
doing the little walk
he's-
down the street. He's happy. Oh, we saved the day. Or did we?
He's got to pay
Did
for
I?
his coffee now.
Wait a minute. Yeah, the guy's like, you're
You're the guy with the
bug
ants.
man. You're bug man. That's $12.
$12.
Yeah, he's like, I saved the day. I saved all these people. He's like, but is that what happened? Did I save everybody?
He
He
did-
also mentioned that there were a lot more of him
Right.
coming if I didn't let him leave.
Right.
Did I do that? So they had this like lingering thought.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's fine.
F it.
That's the movie.
Yeah.
All right, in credit scenes, because they're just as part of the movie on this one. The next one you see, first one you see, mid credits, all the Kangs.
The Council of Kangs.
I mean, how many?
Oh, it's thousands.
Thousands.
Thousands upon thousands. An arena full.
An arena full, and then like in the background you get like a few of them
You
talking.
get 3 main ones.
Did these?
which-
do you know these Kangs?
One is Immortus.
Okay.
The other one is Ramatut.
Which one? I'm just kidding.
Pharaoh one probably.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
Yeah.
And the third one, I'm not 100% sure on. It could be some sort of version of Iron Lad who didn't become a good guy. But he had a very like futuristic kind of Iron Man-esque suit.
Is
and
Immortus the one that was like a different color?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the main one that was talking.
And what's he say?
Yeah.
He says, "Okay, so the exiled one is dead."
Is gone.
He said gone,
Yeah.
but I thought they said dead.
They might have said dead or off the table or
Yeah.
somehow destroyed.
And now I don't know what they said. Even it was like
now it's our time.
now it's our
Kind
time.
of.
Everybody's like, all right, let's get together.
Right.
I mean, they were just going crazy.
We're
Yeah. And
meddling with the multiverse.
yeah. I think all of these Kangs were able to come together because of Sylvie killing the one who remains
In Loki.
in Loki.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
These guys didn't either A, didn't exist, or B, couldn't get together because he who remains was keeping the sacred timeline trimmed
Yes.
and wasn't allowing any branches to form and any other Kangs to come to fruition.
Yes.
So you're saying it's not the Kang from this movie, it's the one from the Loki show that they're actually referencing.
Well, to me, it feels like
It could be.
yeah, because
Yeah.
to me, it always ends the same way. Like a Kang either wins or like loses, and like
Right.
our storyline with the Avengers now will like you think they'll win
Right.
eventually, but what has happened always is like
Is a Kang eventually comes
Kang-
together
exactly.
and takes over and fixes the timeline.
Yeah, fixes the
To
timeline
keep the other Kangs from getting out of control.
right, and
And
it's
it makes you wonder, was the Kang we just saw in Quantumania the bad Kang?
Yeah.
Was he who remains the bad Kang? Is one of these other Kangs the bad Kang?
and what is the bad Kang?
And what is the bad Kang?
And like how bad does it get? Because like who's the best Kang? Like and like
Right.
will one come along that's like a good guy?
We have Iron Lad is a Kang who came back and joined the Young Avengers and became a hero. So, there's infinite number of Kangs.
Yeah.
There's got to
Is
be
he-
a worse
Is he
one.
younger? Is he like a younger
Yeah, he's
Kang?
like a
Is that the
teenage
idea?
Kang
Okay.
who
Yeah.
came back to try and like not be a villain.
Okay, so
Yeah, cool.
perfect segue. Second end credit scene.
Loki
Loki season 2 tease
and Morbius.
and Mobius,
Mobius.
a Mobius,
Mobin
a
time.
Mobius strip. I just watched Endgame too. I
watch it like every week.
yeah, of course. Before this movie, I watched Ant-Man, the Civil War scene, Ant-Man 2, and
Nice.
Endgame.
Nice.
Man, it was so great. It was a fun week.
That's good.
All right, so
Good run.
Loki, Mobius, in like the 30s, 20s.
Yeah, it looked, like he was showing off some sort of thing. And
Victor Timely.
Yeah.
Victor Timely, like come around and putting on a show, and Mobius is like, I
That's
thought you
the
said-
guy?
That's the guy. I thought you said he was like
Dead.
ominous.
Yeah,
and,
or scary.
and he's like,
That's the guy.
he is.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, you watch Loki again, and
Wow,
maybe a
cannot
masterpiece.
wait
You know,
to
Dan-
watch it again.
Dan, you had some questions about, where was Kang's story? What are his motivations? And I just don't
Yeah.
think that this was the movie for that.
Yeah. And
That we're gonna get it.
Well, I think-
We're gonna get a lot of that in Loki. I think we're gonna get tidbits of it throughout this next phase, and then the Kang Dynasty Avengers film is where we're gonna get like a full background of story. Because if you think about phase 1 and phase 2 and even most of phase 3, we didn't get Thanos' backstory.
yeah, and Thanos.
We didn't get anything but like taste and tidbits
Yep.
and post-credit scenes
Until he was in
and-
Guardians.
until he was in Guardians. Was he in Guardians? He was at the end of some
Yeah, he was in Guardians. He was
He was in Avengers first.
He was-
That
Yeah, he
He
was
was-
in
he was-
the
he was
tease at
Avengers.
Avengers. I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Well, that was after Age of Ultron.
Right.
Avengers, he talked a little bit at the end to his people that were like running Loki.
Yeah.
And then they also
Yep.
had I mean, he was in Guardians because Ronan talked to him with his
Oh,
big
yeah, that's
face on
right.
the big screen.
Yeah.
This I totally agree with you, Scott. This villain is so different because there's so many of them, and it's like a time travel kind of
Right.
story too.
We don't know if every version we're seeing is the same version we've already seen.
And I'm also saying like to Dan's point, you're watching Ant-Man Quantumania. Say you don't really know any of this Kang stuff, and maybe you haven't seen Loki. They're just doing this differently.
Mhm.
Thanos was like, the universe needs to be set straight. Like, that's what I want to do. We don't even know really what this guy wants to do outside of like what was told in Loki. And he said a little bit of that in this movie too. It always happens, or like, you guys don't know what's going to happen if I don't do what I need to do.
Right.
And like, to us, it's like
It's almost
multiversal war is like the concern.
It's almost a multiversal version of Thanos. Like, instead of having to fix the universe, I have to fix the multiverse.
I have to, and if I don't, it's just chaos
Yes,
and war and
I
death.
have to destroy countless numbers of planets and trillions of people, but it's to make sure it works.
Yeah, Janet says, but you're killing trillions to do this as you do it. And he goes, I wish that mattered.
Yeah. They don't matter.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Best part of the movie for sure.
Jonathan Majors just killed it.
All right, that's the story. Got some fun facts for you. Got some ratings. Before we get into that, we're just going to talk about this movie for a minute. All right, you've seen it. It's out there. It's come, it's gone. We talked about how we felt going into it. Danny P, tell me what you thought about this movie.
If I could sum it up in one word, it would be meh. I mean, as a standalone film, it's all over the place. I almost feel like it's unwatchable if you haven't watched Loki and all the we're getting to a point where you have to see everything. Or you like Kang, I don't think hits if you haven't seen Loki in nearly the same way. And that was my frustration of, I'm just like, I hear your point on like the tease of Thanos, but that was always a tease. This is like, he's the primary villain here. And I don't really know anything about him except he's trying to get out of here and he killed some people, but he's like, but I had a reason, but I'm not going to tell you because I want to do that later in a movie. And so Kang was my favorite part. Evangeline Lilly's character, Hope, could have not been in that movie. She had no role except to help out a little bit every now and then. I felt Cassie was weak. I didn't like Scott's character development. I had almost none of the humor hit for me. I thought the CGI was very under the standard for what we had just seen in Black Panther. And I mean, I'll take Avatar out of it. I'll pin it against Black Panther, and I think it was way worse, with the exception of the Iron Man girl, whose name I can't remember right now. Ironheart,
Williams.
which that one looked terrible also. But
Yeah.
it's come out now. Actually, the people that worked on this movie are saying, well, all the money got moved for visual effects to Black Panther, and we didn't have the budget. I thought the character, like all the different types of characters, were really cool. It was very Star Wars-esque and kind of creature mix-esque. I thought that was neat. But the story just felt so disconjointed to me. The humor didn't hit. And the action, while fun, like this is very low on my list of overall Marvel movies right now. And I really wanted to like it. I was really excited. All the stuff people were hypothesizing when we saw like the rings going up around his big platform, people were like, oh, it must connect to the rings. Like, there was none of that. There was no connection with any of that stuff. Because I'm like, oh, that'd be interesting. Maybe there's like this through line with the rings and Kang, and it's going to kind of bring these things together. Maybe we're just early. I mean, clearly those rings didn't mean anything. But I don't know, is like a setup for Phase 5. I'm less excited than I was after Black Panther, unfortunately. I'm excited for Loki because I like those characters, but this did not hit for me.
Yeah, I'll pile on because these guys might bring us back with some positives, but I felt a similar way. And honestly, when I left, I just kind of thought to myself, like, just running through Phase 4, there is part of me that feels like all of these movies were like going to be better and edgier. And I look at Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and then I look at this movie, and I just think, where's the strong characters making like strong choices? Like, that's what makes a Marvel flick is like a culmination of everything a character's been through and giving them some real depth and like some real hard choices to make. And like, I'm just not feeling that in this movie. We talk about Scott Lang rolling through this, like, and I'm looking at Quantumania from the trailers and everything going into this, and I like Kang did his part in this flick, and everything about Kang and Jonathan Majors is a win in this movie. Like, every scene I see, I'm just like, I don't want it to end, and I'm like, I'm so intrigued, and like, I'm like, you know, you can feel like that mystery about what's going on. And then like, you got Scott Lang, who really feels like he took a back seat in this movie. Like, I didn't know who was the star. Like, you know, it's like, do you want his daughter to be the star? Or like, it doesn't need to be just one, but like, the first two Ant-Man films are so good. They did such a good job, like, giving such high stakes to like the things that they're going through. And like, this was in the quantum realm. And like, I still couldn't feel like those stakes until like Jonathan came on screen and being Kang. So I feel what you're saying. You know, part of me feels like, you know, these feel like Disney movies. You know, they feel like the family first. You said meh. I've said safe. It feels very safe. It feels like this will be fine. It'll get us through. And maybe we're saving the big stuff for the big movies later. Which, like,
I also think it was a big miss not bringing his crew back in some capacity.
Yeah.
That was like some of the funniest scenes in the first two movies. When they're sitting there, like, when he's planning out the heist, I can't think of his name.
Luis.
Yeah, Luis. Oh my God. That's hilarious when he does that stuff.
I will tell you, the guy with the holes.
Yep.
Was one of the guys on the crew.
David Dastmalchian.
Dalkamaki.
Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man, yeah.
Yeah, so he got to come back as a different character.
Right.
But not the...
That guy didn't work for me.
Oh, I loved that guy. I loved the little jelly guy.
All right. Scotty?
I can see where you guys are coming from, especially Logan. I don't feel like this was... Like anyone was a star here. This was very ensemble cast, but no one really rose above. Everybody performed well. I think, you know, the new Cassie, she was great. You know, Scott was great. Jonathan Majors, I think, was a standout. Everybody did well. I don't feel like this movie was the one that was marketed to me in the trailer. I thought this was going to be a very emotional, very heavy start, and it was just, oh, well, Kang kidnapped my daughter, and I have to just do this to get her back kind of thing. Like, I really thought there was going to be a decision he had to make that was going to kill someone.
Well, yeah, right. A death.
I thought
someone's going to die.
I thought he was going to sacrifice himself for sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or at least have some of that kind of levity there, and it just didn't happen. But that's not to say I didn't like the movie. I liked the movie, and I don't think it deserves as much of a low score as it's getting.
Yeah, right.
It's definitely not top 15.
Yeah. Take those.
But I don't think it's like bottom tier at all. Like, I wouldn't put this with Thor 2 or Iron Man 3 or any of the other, you know, kind of dregs of the Marvel universe. I would say this was a decent movie.
Yeah.
It was missing something.
Yeah. I meant what I said about, like, I felt like they changed the end, you know, where, like, part of me thinks, like, Disney's like, we can't do this right now.
Paul Rudd might be in his 50s, but he still looks great. Let's not kill him.
Not even just that, but like people are like a little unstable right now, maybe.
Right.
And like we can't be like, we got to keep like spirits high.
Right. Like, yeah.
Think about the last two movies, though. You have Black Panther, super heavy, and you have Thor, where Natalie Portman's character, died. And so maybe they were like,
that was a little slapsticky, goofy movie.
Yeah, but it still agreed. It had like a character death, and like, okay, maybe we don't kill another one like 3 movies in a row.
But that was a character you only got, like a long time ago that you didn't really even know that you wanted.
And she's not done.
Yeah,
like she's in Valhalla.
Right. Still accessible.
True.
Giggler.
Yeah. Here's my issue. Months and months ago, the director of this movie said that it was going to be a Avengers level event, not just a stepping stone as the other Ant-Man movies.
That was a lie.
So that's
lie.
Yeah, I know. They keep like these movies have their own hype. Like they don't need to add to it like that.
That's it.
I think that's where I kind of got with Doctor Strange, where I got my hopes up like before the movie. But I agree with Scott. This isn't as bad as I think everyone's saying. Jonathan Majors, I need him.
It was fun.
More of him, and I think honestly, he has a chance to be a better villain overall than Thanos. If like just because of what we just talked about, he's going to be in so many different things, so many different versions.
He's going to have a lot more depth.
Thanos was in 2 credit scenes, one scene, and then Infinity War Endgame, and then he was done. So that's what I'm most excited for. And I think he's in for a busy next few years. But I think from what I've seen so far, I'm really excited for this villain. But I mean, what else? I honestly couldn't like. I also got the Star Wars vibes from this. I couldn't tell. Like, I have to see this movie again. I think I'm going to see it in 3D and just kind of digest a little more. But I couldn't tell if it was like a Star Wars / Bobo Guardians of the Galaxy like mashup, or like one of the better like family comedies that Marvel's done. It had little hints of both of those, but I think Paul Rudd humor overall is just getting old to me because it's the same jokes kind of over and over, like the same shtick.
Yeah.
But because I'm the person that I am, I pre-ordered his book on Amazon the other day, and it comes out in September.
Real book?
Yeah,
it's a real book.
It comes out in September.
Look out for the little guy.
They had it on audiobook, and he's like actually listening to it. Hey, I felt the same way about the humor though. Like in this movie, I feel like they brought in that Scott Lang humor, and it felt like misplaced. It felt like they were just like, just do it again, and just make the same, have him make the jokes, and he always made these jokes in the past, so just have him make the jokes again. And I was like, this guy has been through so much. Like it would not be like this. Like think about how he was in Avengers Endgame. Like where's that guy? Like this guy is just like, I'm telling you, it just felt like watered down a little bit.
I feel like he needed the right characters or situation to play off of with that humor. And like, because in Avengers, when you have so many like that are super serious, like Tony Stark and Captain America, and you got one guy cracking jokes, it's funny because that's the funny guy. But here it just didn't. I don't know. It's like he was just telling jokes to tell jokes. It's not like he was even engaging with other people. It felt like sometimes.
Well, it's like
Andy
Andy
said,
said,
talking to himself a lot.
It's like Andy said. They talk about what this movie's going to be, what it's going to like. The tone is different. It's not the same as the first 2 movies. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's exactly the same outside of Kang. Like Kang's the only thing that's like a little bit darker, and like he's just as dark as like Darren Cross, who was like a murderer. Like, just in the regard of the Ant-Man movies, comparing them to each other, but. Anyway, it's
but I think Kang's the best Ant-Man villain by a mile.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Yes,
I was more interested in him. That's why I was disappointed I didn't get more of his story than anything else in that movie.
Who was the villain in Ant-Man 2?
Ghost.
That's right. Who is apparently also not dead.
The Ghost in the quantum realm. Getting Janet back.
That's right.
Which, this movie is also like the payoff to a lot of those things too. Like her being gone for 30 years, and they talk so much about the quantum realm. It's called Quantumania. I do just think that like at this point, this is like, how many films, how many titles now? You're just expecting like it to be like a game changer a little bit. Like, I understand if this was just like Ant-Man 2, but I'm like, it's Ant-Man 3. So
it's the MCU is really starting to fall into the the same trappings as the comic books do, where if you want to know what's going on with this event, you have to read X title, and you have to read another X title, and then another X title, and that leads to this. And if you want to know what this character was doing, only showed up on these 3 pages, you need to read these issues over here, and it's really starting to branch out.
Yeah.
And I think they're starting to lose people.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt like I have to watch these films, but like they've also done a good job with the catch-ups on Disney Plus. They have like the featurettes of like Scott Lang catch up.
Where's it been? Where they been?
Yes.
What happened?
Legends or whatever.
Yeah,
Is that
Marvel
what it is?
Legends.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
I would
keep that in mind.
I would love to see, and I know it's not going to be for a while, but if I'm Kevin Feige, I'm sitting down and saying, for the next big thing that we have not already announced, let's make an original villain. So that nobody knows. You can't read comics. You can't find source material and hypothesize. We're going to put somebody in front of you that you've never met. You don't know what they're capable. You don't know why they're doing. That's the sort of thing I feel I need at this point a little bit to, like, I don't know, put some of the mystery or something back into it, because I agree with you, Scott. It's very much like, it feels very comic booky after they've been doing it for a while, and then they always have to do some sort of like hard reset.
Right. Well, and I think this is what it's almost the plot of Kang.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trimming the timelines
It's,
is what we're complaining about. Like, hey, it's starting to branch out too much. Well, Kang is literally here to try and fix
He's
that.
trying. He's like, I'm trying, guys.
Him and She-Hulk are going to team up and go
Right.
after Kevin Feige.
And that will never happen, Dan. They will never make an original character to star as a hero or a villain.
Maybe Phase 12 or something.
They've got too many. It's too easy to go to the well and pull somebody out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I will.
I know
say,
it's the easy, safe choice.
Yeah.
I will say. I
It
feel
would
like
be the
there,
exciting choice.
there's a trend in myself. I feel like I'm recognizing, even from the Phase 1 through 3 movies, where like you're really hard on these movies sometimes out of the gate, and like every time I go back,
You're gonna come when it releases on Disney Plus in 3 or 4 months.
exactly,
You're gonna watch it again and you'll be like, I don't know what I was
I
talking
don't know what
about.
I was talking
I'm
about.
gonna
It was
listen to
so
this
great.
episode and be like, I don't know what I was talking about. It was great.
Exactly, like it's like I'm
gonna watch it 4 times this week.
And I also believe like how you feel on a day is sometimes how you feel about that movie that day.
Right.
Like you might just like I might have just been like,
I shouldn't have watched it after work.
yeah, exactly.
You
On a
know,
Monday.
On a Monday. Oh, case of the Mondays.
But I mean, I know people review bomb, but it's not like there was like a charged element of this movie that would have led people to do that. And there's clearly other people that felt meh about this or felt that this was bad in some way. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I really wanted more.
Yeah.
And I think that you see that when you look, and online's going to go to the extremes. It always does.
Yeah.
But it's not like there's some, political shit or something in here that people are getting all, crazy about. Not that I saw anyway, to where people clearly were disappointed in some way. I just, man, maybe to your point, Andy, I just hyped it up myself too much and was too excited and went in and it was decent. And I felt negative on it because I wanted more. Like I wanted a Spider-Man, like event. I wanted it's such a roller coaster. Like, walked out of Wakanda Forever being like, wow, that was awesome. And then I come into this and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know
But
I know what you mean. Like this, we heard about this movie 4 years ago.
I think the problem is they just make too good of a trailer.
Well, aren't you guys starting
It's
to lean?
too good.
Aren't you guys leaning toward like not watching these things anymore? Like especially like now, like I'm just like, I've been watching trailers like crazy because it's fun. I'm like, man, it's fun to watch these trailers.
Yeah.
But then you go into these movies and you're like, what movie is this?
Right. This is not what was marketed to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I got to stop. I'm not watching any of the featurettes or any of that stuff before.
Yeah.
It's usually just the teaser and the main trailer
Just
now.
get in there.
And then I'm done. But even those sold me a different movie than I bought.
Yeah. And also take the ratings out there, like on anywhere.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomato.
You know, it's like a 45.
So
or
is
something
Eternals, you know,
percent.
and like Eternals one of my
Well-
favorite, you know, and Eternals is also like, you know, kind of challenging, like
It-
some
they-
big picture stuff. And
They
like this
they
movie can
made
too.
like an effort to be different.
And sometimes being
And that-
different is what sets you into that like negative review stuff, you know. So like sometimes when I see a low score, I'm like, this might be really good, you know. All right, let's go ahead and do roundtable ratings. I'll go first and get it out of the way.
Uh-oh.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I saw it on a Monday night. Maybe I should have seen it on a Sunday or a Saturday. But I still had a really good time. Jonathan Majors is here. King is here. I want to see more Paul Rudd. I want to see Hope again. I want to see Cassie some more. This is a fun movie that when it's on Disney Plus, I'll rewatch it again and have a good time, I'm sure. For today, though, real life rating, real time, I'll give this a 3.1.
Oh, wow. I did not expect that.
I'm just being honest. Giggler.
I really thought you would have come lower than that.
No.
Yeah, look at that right there.
3.1. Tie.
We tied 3.1 as well here.
Any final
I
thoughts?
said many bad things about it earlier, but I mean, honestly,
Obviously, we still landed
I'm
high,
easy,
you know.
easy as hell to please. Yes, I got you. But I mean, exactly, not in my top 15 Marvels, but it's somewhere in the middle. Maybe even closer to the bottom. But damn, I had a great time, and I've just said that I'm going to go see it again, probably in a couple Tuesdays. This next Tuesday is already reserved for Cocaine Bear, so.
Cocaine Bear. It's here already.
I already got my tickets. If anyone wants to join, let me know.
All right.
$5 Tuesday, which is now $7 Tuesday at Ronnie's.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Inflation hitting everybody.
Yep.
Scotty Scoop, final thoughts on a rating?
I really love Jonathan Majors. I can't wait to see more of him. Cassie, she'll be a young Avenger, for sure. I don't know that I need really anybody else. Like we said, Hope was useless in this movie. I really wanted to see her do something more than she did. And it's really strange. I feel like I liked this movie more than you, but
Yeah.
my rating is a 2.9.
Oh my gosh! What? All right. Well, but it's
What
still
the
really
hell?
close.
Yeah, it's
still
close.
hovering around
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
middle ground Marvel movie,
Right.
Right. You know.
Yeah, I
like
think
that
it's
they're-
right there in the
it's-
middle. There's what, 30 plus?
Yeah.
You know, I think we're somewhere in the 15 to 20, 25 range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And like you said,
Good.
it's later. I bet later it'd be higher.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And like you watch the Kang Dynasty, right? In 2 years.
And you're like, oh, man,
like that was
that's
awesome.
what I needed. And you
Oh,
go
yeah.
back and you do your rewatch of 4 through 6, and you're like, man, it was such an underrated gem at the time.
Yeah, it's almost like a good chapter of a book. It's like if you just read that chapter on its own, you might not love it so
Mhm.
much. But when you read it with the whole book,
Right.
it's really good.
Something different.
Danny P, you're up. Take us home.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.8. I like it. That's a C plus, right?
Yeah.
That's where I fell. I don't think it's terrible. I just was like, it's fine. Like, I had friends ask me, what'd you think? I'm like, it's a Marvel movie. It's not one of the special ones to me. Like if you're gonna watch the rest of them though, you better go watch this one. So, like you won't have a bad time, but you're not gonna walk out of there like maybe you have some of the other kind of top ones, and that's what I was hoping for out of this.
All right, guys. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. There it is. A roundtable ratings. I promised you some fun facts. I sprinkled them in a little bit as we went, but here's some more. Here's a couple for you as we head into coming up. Scott's Ant-Man suit was altered to include the classic chest pattern that was from the comics. Not sure if you noticed, Scotty.
Nope, not at all.
This is the second trilogy in the MCU to have the same director for all 3 films following Spider-Man films, 2017 to 2021. That was John Watts.
Mhm.
This was
Peyton Reed.
Reed.
Yep.
Liar.
Yeah, liar. At the beginning of his career, director Peyton Reed directed behind-the-scenes material for the Back to the Future franchise.
Nice.
You guys see where this is going? Do you guys remember
Yeah.
this part in Quantumania?
Well, a couple of moments.
The pizza.
The pizza, yeah, the rehydrated pizza.
Yep, and
nice.
You sure know how to rehydrate a pizza.
Mom. Fruit, please. He said that was absolutely a nod to those movies.
100%.
And then we of course know that Cassie Lang was recast. The first person was Emma Furman in Avengers Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
and now Catherine Newton's in the role. And there was one more cool one here. Oh yeah, this was the first Ant-Man movie not co-written by Paul Rudd.
He's already too busy writing his book.
Yeah, I guess he had other stuff on his plate.
That's going to be very interesting. I'll let you guys borrow it when I'm done.
All right, guys. Yeah, I want to check it out. I actually probably will listen to the audiobook. I mean, Paul Rudd just talking. I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah,
it's got to be hilarious.
Yeah.
you're probably right.
He was listening to his own book in the car.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's relatable.
Really funny.
Just like listening to our own podcast.
Exactly.
All right, guys. That's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the MCU. Always going to be a staple on this podcast. Go check it out at mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU, where you can find links to all the source material from the episode, all the fun facts that we brought up. Everything else is just there waiting for you. And with that, let's get into what's coming up. All right. Are you Central Time too, Dan?
Yep.
So it's getting late for a little Wednesday night, so we're going to power through this and go and talk about some fun stuff coming up in 2023. This is from Rotten Tomatoes. Get ready for Creed 3 hitting theaters next week. Jonathan Majors is making so much money right now.
Yeah.
So don't forget,
He
Jonathan
deserves it.
Yeah, he does. He's just absolutely fantastic. Fast 10 your seatbelts has come out with a trailer that's going to be hitting theaters. We talk about family. Yeah, there's someone else after Vin Diesel. You won't believe it. Transformers, they got a new movie coming out. Dungeons and Dragons, Scotty.
Yeah. I got the crew ready to go see that
I'm
one.
seeing the trailer.
Are
Chris
you,
Pine
are you
looks
excited
hilarious.
for that one, Scott?
I am very excited for that.
Me
I got
too.
The whole,
I think it looks great.
The whole D&D crew going
Oh,
to
man.
that
Awesome.
one.
I
Oh,
bet
that's
great.
Me and Scotty or me and Andy might have to crash your party and
Hey.
just show up.
I will tell you when we're getting tickets.
All right. We got 65 with Adam Driver. John Wick 4 is coming out. Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, a new Scream movie, Mario Brothers movie, Little Mermaid.
It's me, Mario.
It's me, Mario. Mission Impossible. Don't forget about that one. 23 and 23 DC movies, Shazam, The Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman. We'll be talking about all these. Dan, trying to get too excited about this slide. 2023 Star Wars, The Bad Batch, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Rogue Squadron, Skeleton Crew, The Acolyte. Are all these still happening, Dan? Anything we missed?
As of now, yes. I mean, we haven't had a movie since 2019. That would be nice, but
They're on the
nothing
little
on that.
They're on the little screen.
I don't think we'll get
Yeah.
Ahsoka this year.
Marvel Studios Phase 4 has wrapped up. Phase 5 is here. We just talked about it, and we're just so excited. I mean, just if Phase 5 and 6, Guardians of the Galaxy coming up in a few months, the Marvels later this year, Captain America, New World Order. I mean, is that like New World Order like Kang?
Well, like,
Or was like, it's one of those things where I like play future tellers sometimes, and I'm like, okay, that's going to be Kang has taken over Earth, and like now everybody's, or I'm like, no, I'm too ahead of myself.
You're too ahead of yourself.
He'll fight someone on Earth as like an internal battle, like the Thunderbolts, and then the end credit scene will be like, Kang's here.
I think
Yeah, I
this
have
is going
no
to be
idea.
like instead of S.H.I.E.L.D., there's just going to be a new governmental system, like AIM
Yeah.
or
You don't think-
Hammer.
You don't think the scroll will flow over from Secret Invasion?
Oh, for sure.
Secret Invasion, that's later this year. That TV show, What If, Loki Season 2, Echo, Ironheart, Agatha. Will these happen this year? I'm hearing that we're only getting 2 shows this year.
I think we're getting What If, we're getting Secret Invasion, we're getting Loki.
Yep.
And I think that's probably it.
The other 3 might just be
That's
later.
fine. Slow him down, make him better.
Oh, no. Did we lose Dan?
Oh, Dan's done. He didn't want to hear that.
Hold on. We'll see if we still have him. All right. Monitor your text, Andy, and if we can pull him back in, we will. We'll keep going while we're waiting. Blade, Deadpool 3, Avengers, Kang Dynasty, Avengers, Secret Wars, and Armor Wars.
Yeah, all those.
All those.
Thunderbolts.
That's 5 and 6. And then this year, we've already talked about this list, but just to run through it again, Guardian, Shazam, Spider-Man Across the Universe, If Echo Happens, The Flash, this is 2023, Secret Invasion, Marvels, Loki, D23 Expo, Kraven the Hunter, Ironheart, if it happens, Blue Beetle's definitely happen, Agatha's probably not happening, Captain America, it's not this year?
What's that?
Captain America New World Order?
Nope.
No.
Definitely not.
Okay, so I need to take that off the list. That's next year. Aquaman.
I don't know if Craven is hunting this year either.
One last check for this guy. All right, with that, guys, that's what's coming up. Plenty to talk about. I mean, it's a nerd's world. There's no doubt. Plenty to have, and I know it took us a little time to get back here in the studio. Thank you for your patience. We had a nice little recharge in between seasons. Go to mostlysuperheroes.com/support to support the show in many ways. You can buy some merch. You can join the Facebook group. You can join the squad. Anything that you're looking for. It's all happening at mostlysuperheroes.com. Scotty, Andy, Dan, love you guys. Great time.
So good to be back.
It feel right?
Yeah. Culinary Carry started us off with a bang.
Yeah, the tacos.
Delicious tacos.
We didn't get to hear what Dan ate.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't. We totally lost him. But we know he's out there, and he'll hear us on Patreon. You can too, and we'll be back for a lot more. Nice to be back in the studio, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Shazam, I think, is March, right?
That's what's next. Oh, I just had the slide up. Yeah, Shazam's probably coming up next.
And then Guardians in May.
Yep.
Let's go. Cocaine Bear doesn't get its own
Cocaine
episode?
Bear?
I mean, it's definitely going to probably get like a 5-minute mini
We
meet, or maybe just a big.
It's just like a special. We'll just all come in and do something for Cocaine Bear. Come on, it's Cocaine Bear.
We brought it in on the show. Why not?
I'm ready for the Cocaine Bear cinematic universe.
Well, maybe it'll happen.
We'll see.
CBCU.
And that's how we know that it's over. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
It's Mostly Superheroes. Take it easy.
Cue the music.